Championship. Once again, the Marketa Stadium provided great racing for the neoclassic crowd, as Poland's Matt Sijanowski provided the early excitement with a sublime 15-point maximum in his first 5 rides. He'd then finish a close second to Denmark's Nicky Pedersen in the semi-finals, as they both qualified for the final, along with Poland's Jarek Hampel. In the final, Woffenden in blue came off the start textbook style, only to have a slight moment coming out of turn 1. Pedersen in red nearly took out Janowski in white, allowing Hampel in yellow to take third spot until the end of lap 3, when Hampel took over his fellow countryman for second. But out in front and looking very comfortable, Britain's Ty Woffenden was heading to the top of the World Championship ahead of a 6-week break for the series.
I can't believe it's 6 weeks ago. It's gone pretty quick. Yeah, you know, third time in Prague. Kind of shocked myself a little bit, but the season's going really good at the moment. I'm feeling real fresh, and my team's working hard, so it's looking like it's going to be a good season. But you know, we're only early doors, so you know, can't take nothing for granted. I've got a lot of hard work to go.
So the championship looks like this after 3 rounds. Ty Woffenden leads Nicky Pedersen by 6 points from Jarek Hampel in third, with current world champion Greg Hancock in fourth. Unfortunately for Poland's Jarek Hampel, it looks very much like he won't take part for the rest of the series due to this crash in Event 1 of the Monster Energy Speedway World Cup. His leg was broken in 2 places, and that means that Denmark's Peter Killerman steps in as first reserve as the series moves to Great Britain for the resumption of the World Championship. Cardiff's Millennium Stadium, the spiritual home of Speedway, as 45,000 fans make their annual pilgrimage to the sport's biggest event of the year. 2014 saw America's Greg Hancock fight off Woffenden and Ward to take the victory, the spoils and the applause from the knowledgeable crowd, something the current world champion aims to repeat in 2015.
For me, it's all about points, and scoring a lot of points is what I want to do, and if I'm scoring a lot of points, there's a good chance I can win.
So only one homegrown rider has ever won in Cardiff, Chris Harris in 2007. So can Harris, Woffenden or wildcard Craig Cook deliver a British victory here tonight?
You know, there's not one rider in this field that I haven't beaten before, so you know, I'm there and get my tracking gloves on, got some good engines underneath me, and who knows, we'll just have to wait and see.
My form has been unreal, so you know, it gives me a bit of confidence, but you know, I don't want to get too confident and make mistakes. So like I said, head down, focus on the job in hand, score as many points as I can, walk away from here a happy man.
The biggest pressure is on Ty, obviously leading the world title, and you know, he's the hero in England, so all the pressure's on him, so me and just Craig Cook can just come in and enjoy it.
Hi there, a very good evening and a very warm welcome to the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. It's round 4 of the 2015 World Speedway Championship. It's the Adrian Flux FIM British Speedway Grand Prix. And it has to be said, this place is rocking. Fantastic turnout once again. Speedway fans have been queuing for hours to get into this stadium today. And I'm delighted to be joined once again by a former world finalist, former world long track champion, and our resident expert on Speedway Grand Prix, Kelvin Tatum, MBE, joins us once again in commentary. Kelvin, we are really looking forward to this.
Indeed we are. It's a fabulous occasion once again. Huge crowd in. Practice went well yesterday. There's a lot of smiling faces about track conditions, and we're about to witness something extra special on the presentation side. But Cardiff, we're here once again in 2015 and thoroughly looking forward to it.
Yeah, and again, the atmosphere, sensational. The riders are about to come out now, and the introduction of the riders is a huge part of the show here at Cardiff. And here we see Robert Lambert, the first rider out, who's second reserve, and what a season he's had, Kel.
Yeah, he's been in terrific form. He's 17, just 17, rode for the World Cup, of course, and won a couple of races in the race-off, and there's no question that this youngster has got a huge future in the sport. He will be a superstar, and I'm sure he'll be a fully fledged Grand Prix rider in the next year or two.
Yep, very much so. And Jason Garrity, who rides for the Coventry Bees and the Sheffield Tigers in British Speedway, he is the other reserve that has been selected for this meeting. And what an occasion. He's just looking round at and just taking it all in.
Well, it'll be something very special for them. Craig Cook, of course, now is the wild card. He finished second in the British final to secure that slot. Slightly unfortunate. He was leading the final when it had to be recalled when Jason Garrity slipped off, but It's the second year that Craig Cook has qualified as a wild card. I'm sure he's desperately wants to do a little better than he did last year.
And what an opportunity for this fella. For me, one of the most spectacular riders in the world, Peter Kilderman, in for the unfortunate Jarek Ampel.
Yeah, he's spectacular in the extreme, Nige, and we've seen him ride. He takes no prisoners out there. He doesn't have any respect for anybody, but he can be very exciting. Wouldn't be surprised if he scores an awful lot of points.
Thomas H. Jonasson has had his injury problems, missed the World Cup, of course, and looking forward to bouncing back here tonight.
Yeah, he's had a tough start. You know, he tweaked his knee in Tampere and then really has sat out for some period of time, but the way he's jogging along there looks like he's fully fit. And on his night, he can be something very special.
Now, Troy Batchelor, he had a wonderful Grand Prix in Copenhagen a couple of years ago, and on his day can beat anybody, but just a little bit inconsistent on the world stage.
He's been up and down again this year as well for his clubs, and I'm sure Troy is desperate to put on a big display here this evening. Here we go. Chris Holder, of course, hugely popular here in the Millennium Stadium, has got a great record here. Former world champion in 2012, has had all sorts of injuries in the last couple of seasons, but Chris has been finding his feet in the Elite League, and it wouldn't be a surprise if he does work very well this evening.
Now, Christoph Kasperzak missed the World Cup, and I have no doubt, because he's got a good record here at Cardiff, he'll fancy proving a point tonight.
Yeah, I can't understand why. World number 2 last year, has struggled for form this year, and he really needs to turn things around. Well, what about this man? Chris Harris won in 07, of course, in those dramatic circumstances by he pipped Greg Hancock on the run to the line. Can Harris repeat that sort of performance tonight?
He's got earplugs in. Goodness me.
It's quite noisy, Nige.
Must be loud for the riders. Yeah, very much so. And here we see Michael Japsen Jensen in his full debut Grand Prix campaign. Never easy, of course, in your first year.
A Grand Prix winner, a World Cup winner, so he has pedigree. Hasn't quite hit those heights in the last couple of years. Niels Christian Iversen is another rider that had a bad injury last year and hasn't quite recaptured the form that we saw him in last year, but he's a Grand Prix winner, he's a quality rider.
Certainly is, but as you say, Calvin, a little bit hit and miss on occasions, Niels Christian Iversen, but I'll tell you what, we are getting down to the top riders now in the World Championship standings. Jason Doyle, as a Grand Prix debutant, is doing ever so well.
Absolutely, he's come of age in the last couple of years and fully deserves his slot here in the Grand Prix. Wouldn't surprise at all if he makes a final in the very near future. And this man, Maciej Janowski, he is the real deal. I fancy that he's going to win a Grand Prix this year and quite possibly make the top 3 in the world.
Yeah, he's a big Arsenal football fan as well, and Arsenal have played here in the Millennium Stadium, and now he's at Racing Speedway in the same venue as his beloved Arsenal Football Club. Andreas Jonsson, who had a knee problem earlier in the season, but we know exactly what he's capable of.
Well, yeah, he's won plenty of Grand Prix. He's just very recently led the Swedish team to a World Cup victory in Voyens, which was an outstanding achievement, and Andreas Jonsson will be very keen to do well. Zagar, of course, is another quality rider. Looked very, very good in practice yesterday. Needs to translate that into a big performance this evening.
Yep, just taking it cool. No rush, not exactly... oh, he is running now. The boys are up for it. Having a nice little pre-match jog. And now, here is one of the most popular riders in the UK. From the USA, it's Greg Hancock. And what a reception for him, Cal.
Well, what a super nice guy. A 3-time world champion, of course. What a remarkable career he's had. He's only ever missed 1 Grand Prix in the history of Grand Prix. That itself is something very special, and Greg will be looking for a big night tonight. He loves it here.
Very much so. And right behind him, Nicky Pedersen. Oh, listen to the boos. And Nicky is loving every minute of it.
Well, he won't worry about this at all. He'll be fired up. Of course, there was some controversy between Hancock and Pedersen very recently. It's been very well documented, and there's no question there's no love lost between Hancock and Pedersen.
And now the World Championship leader. Listen to this. Ty Woffenden. The roof is being raised here in the Millennium.
Well, Ty Woffenden, 6-point
he's
lead.
loving it, look at him.
Oh yeah, what a fabulous reception. Doesn't ride in the Elite League this year in Britain, but You wouldn't know it, because that is a wonderful reception for the World Championship leader. One last time out, of course, in Prague. Third time on the slot. 6-point lead in the championship. He's riding very, very well on the continent. Relaxed, fit, and he's raring to go.
Very much so. So the rider introductions are done. What an introduction. The big World Championship trophy heads up here at the Millennium Stadium, and it is one big challenge for the organisers year after year, how to top the rider introductions. It was brilliant last year, they're doing it again, and there is a fantastic atmosphere here in the Millennium Stadium tonight. About to get underway, probably in around 5 minutes' time the racing will begin. And what an image that is of the World
Very
Championship
impressive.
trophy.
I tell you what, I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen there, but got to say that's very impressive indeed. Riders just taking it all in. It is a big night for them, and this is when you're, as a rider, you're desperate to get on with it, but you've got to be patient right now.
And now, just to acknowledge and pay our respects to the victims of the Tunisia beach attacks, which only happened recently, of course. A lot of British victims, sadly, in that terrorism attack, and there will now be a minute's silence to remember those victims. Immaculately observed, and quite right too. Speedway fans are some of the most loyal sporting fans, and well, now we have the Welsh national anthem. The Welsh national anthem reverberates around the Millennium Stadium. Traditional sporting venue, of course, and now the British national anthem. Here we go. Well, what an atmosphere, really is. Going to be a great night of Speedway. The riders will make their way back to the pits area and we will get racing very shortly indeed. Terrific rider introduction, it has to be said. I think they've done a great job there, Kelvin, and
Yeah.
they've set the atmosphere and set the scene for the racing ahead.
Indeed they have. It's a terrific way to start proceedings. Of course, a lot of pressure on Ty Wolf and a lot of attention. He's the championship leader, but it's always a special atmosphere in the Millennium Stadium. I've got to say that there's no doubt that the fans come here and they're very excited.
And it's a very special type of city as well. Cardiff is the capital and largest city in Wales and the 10th largest city in the United Kingdom. It's Wales' chief commercial centre and the seat of the National Assembly for Wales. Home to 350,000 people, it's also the base for most national, cultural and sporting institutions and the Welsh national media. In 2014, it won again for the second time European City of Sport, and in 2015 will be one of the cities welcoming the 2015 Rugby World Cup. Cardiff is a significant tourist centre with 18.5 million visitors a year and was ranked 6th in the world in National Geographic's alternative tourist destinations. Sitting in the heart of the city is the Millennium Stadium, the national stadium to the Welsh rugby and football teams, and also the spiritual home of the World Speedway Championship. Well, it started back in 2001, Kelvin. 15th staging of the British Grand Prix here in this venue. They said it couldn't happen, and here we are all these years later.
Yeah, it's been a remarkable success story, and it's become the biggest meeting in the world. And when we come here as a motorsport venue, it really is quite fabulous. The stadium itself is largely responsible for that, because it does have this special effect on the atmosphere with the roof closed as well, the air horns. The intensity of the atmosphere is ramped right up. And I think the British spectators have a great affinity for most of the riders, because at some point or another they will have followed them in their own club. So there's plenty of affection for riders here, a very knowledgeable audience as well. So yeah, it's always a super night and a great atmosphere.
A lot been made of the track, of course, after problems in the opening round in Poland, but it has to be said, Kelvin, you have ridden here on Thursday afternoon. Tell us your thoughts.
The track is smashing, it really is. It was a real delight to be able to ride around here. A touch daunting, I must say, even though the stadium was empty. I was a little nervous, but once I'd done a couple of laps, I'll tell you what, I didn't want to stop. It really was a pleasure to ride. And just looking at the way riders reflected on practice yesterday, everybody was very happy.
Yep, and a lot of positive feedback in a behind closed doors meeting that they had here of 20 races, 16 riders of non-Grand Prix British riders here a week last Tuesday, and everybody seemed to give it a thumbs up back then as well.
They did, yes, and they were very keen to make sure that the surface was ready and raring to go for racing, and it was. And all credit to the organisers to make sure that's happened. Riders now just beginning to make their way out for heat number one. Always a very nervy time, particularly when the stature of this event, you're desperate to get your first ride out the way, really, and get some points on the board. It's quite a long presentation. That's slightly unusual for riders. That's something that gives you an added test here mentally with such a big event. And as always, these Grand Prix heats are very competitive, and we've got Nicky Pedersen coming out in heat number one, and he'll be desperate to get off to a flying start.
Certainly will. Riders just waiting for the nod to come out onto the racing circuit. Phil Morris, the race director. A big night for Phil Morris as well as race director, Kelvin. He is from Wales, just down the road from here in Cardiff, and a big night for Phil Morris as well on home territory.
It's been a big year, hasn't it? You know, there has been some controversy along the way. He's had to poke up with all sorts of drama, but yeah, this must be almost a dream come true for him to be race director in the Millennium Stadium when he is a Welshman, a proud Welshman at that, and I'm sure he's really looking forward to it. And there he is, just in front of the riders, but he hasn't got the same concerns over track conditions tonight. He'll be keeping his fingers crossed that we get a nice, smooth event.
Everybody, I think, will agree with that. Terrific turnout once again as well here. Fantastic to see so many people here in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. And here come the riders. Always nervy and edgy, the first race of the night. They'll be desperate to ensure that they get away first time and we have a good, satisfactory opening race.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and now this is what it's all about. We've had a wonderful introduction to tonight, but it's racing and motorbikes that we want to see, and now riders are now getting down to business. Kasperzak, who has been struggling for form, he needs to up his game. Pedersen, who's been in outstanding form this year, has really been looking good throughout the season, and Chris Harris. Can Chris Harris come up with a really big performance tonight? I know he's desperate to do so. Has never quite managed to hit the heights since he won in 2007. Could 2015 be his year?
Big race coming up then. First race of the night here. It's the Adrian Flux British FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Riders making their last preparations for a big opening race here in front of thousands of fans here at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. Fans getting right behind Chris Harris. Heat number 1 is coming up. Here we go. Heat number 1. Nicky Pedersen off the inside in red has been roundly booed by the Millennium Stadium crowd. Jason Doyle goes off gate number 2 in blue. Christoph Kasperzak, gate number 3 in white. And Chris Harris, 8 years since he won here, is off the outside in the yellow helmet. Kelvin Tatum joining me once again in the commentary box here tonight. A good race to look forward to, for starters.
Absolutely, fabulous lineup. Harris on the outside, that's going to be a challenge when you've got the quality of Pedersen on gate number 1 and Kasperzak out of gate number 3. Here we go.
It's Christer Gardell of Sweden with his finger on the button, and Pedersen's made a beauty from gate number 1. Smooth as you like from the inside gate. Charging hard around the outside is Christoph Kasperzak in white, and Pedersen's under all sort of pressure already. Pedersen holds the lead right now. Coming through is Jason Doyle in blue. Great ride for the man who rides for the Leicester Lions here in the UK. And he's just trying to nip up the inside of Pedersen. Good opening race here.
Fabulous start initially from Pedersen. He was jet propelled away from gate number 1. Got to say, Doyle is charging really hard in second place. It's slick. You've got to hold the inside line. Pedersen did leave the doors slightly ajar, and Doyle was very nearly through, but Pedersen's responded well. Kasperzak now coming under attack from Chris Harris in third place. It's tight there, but Nicky Pedersen out in front, now beginning to pull away.
He's looking good here, Pedersen, and this will silence the boo boys of Cardiff. It's Nicky Pedersen who's going to take the checkered flag, and he puts his hand to his ear. I can't hear you now, folks. My name's Nicky Pedersen, and don't you know it? I've just got out there and won heat number 1. Who cares about the critics? Pedersen does the business in heat 1.
Well, he doesn't, does he? Clearly not. He has laid down a marker right from the get-go. Heat number 1, shot away from the tapes, came under pressure from Doyle, who rode nicely in second place, but Pedersen starts in fine style.
Oh, listen to the boos now as they announce the result. Oh, it's all about being the pantomime villain. Pedersen, Doyle and Kasperzak. Not the best of starts for Chris Harris. Problems for...
Yeah, he missed the start. We'll see it again here. He missed the start. He dropped the clutch late and he doesn't get there. And from the outside in heat number 1 with the quality of rider on the inside of you, it's always going to be difficult. Pedersen, terrific. Is quite possibly one of the best starters in the world. He gets to the first corner, stamps his authority on it. Got to give Jason Doyle credit. Kasperzak shows early. Thought for a moment he might get round the outside, but the track's fairly slick here in heat number 1, and he gets relegated back to third place. Doyle is riding nicely here and gets right alongside Pedersen, and Pedersen has to become a little more defensive. And once he does that, the shortest way in heat number 1 was the fastest way. Good action though for a lap or 2.
It was a great ride from Pedersen.
Look at that.
Will we see him go over the finish line, I wonder, with his hand to his ear? That was a significant moment. Here we go, here we go. Hey, nice one, Nicky.
Love it, love it. Got to say though, aside from that, track conditions looked absolutely perfect. Track was beautifully smooth, no ruts, no holes, and that will give riders, you saw there midway through that race how close they came, and that will give riders plenty of confidence to really race hard this evening.
Well, if you are wondering why Nicky Pedersen's being so roundly booed by the crowd tonight, it was a week ago last Tuesday in a Swedish League meeting where Greg Hancock reacted violently to a move by Nicky Pedersen, and Greg Hancock is one of the sport's most popular riders, Nicky not quite in that bracket. So that's a diplomatic way of putting it.
You may be just understating that a touch.
So it's Jepsen, Jensen, Zagar, Iversen and Jonsson. That is your lineup for heat number 2. A good lineup once again here.
Yeah, it is. And Jepsen Jensen, who's been a touch disappointing, he needs to come up with a really big performance. Niels Christian Iversen is another. He hasn't quite managed to get the consistency he would like this year, and at times I've sensed he's been frustrated. Not sure if it's his equipment or he hasn't quite recaptured the form that he'd shown in previous years, but Zagar in gate 2, I must say, was particularly impressive yesterday.
Here we go, second race of the night now. Can Jepsen Jensen make it off one? He has. Gate 1's looking good early on here. It's a good start from the Dane. Michael Jepsen Jensen round the outside. Matty Zagar, the Slovenian. Can he get the drop? That's a lovely move.
Beautiful ride.
From Matty Zagar. Here comes Iversen as well, up the inside of his fellow countryman, but Jepsen Jensen closes the door, and Andreas Jonsson is at the back, but it has to be said, Kel, that was a sweet move by Zagar.
Beautiful. He got pushed slightly to the outside by Jepsen Jensen initially, who's now lifting and coming under pressure from Iversen, but the speed and the setup of the bike from Zagar right from the word go is absolutely terrific. He's pulling away. Jonsson was poor away from gate 4 and is out the back. Iversen now up the inside of Jepsen Jensen. It's a good tussle for second and third, but Zagar is comfortable now.
Yeah, looking superb here. Matty Zagar of Slovenia rides for the Bellevue Aces here in the UK, has just got the victory ahead of Jepsen Jensen and Iversen. And Matty Zagar 5th in the World Championship before tonight on 24 points, and it was a sweet move. Early stages he really had to work hard, and it was a lovely move from him on Jepsen Jensen. Iversen third, Andreas Jonsson at the back, but a good first lap of Speedway there.
Yeah, he had to go for the outside run, and early on in the meeting that's not always where you want to be, but it worked a treat for Zagar.
Zagar the winner with Jepsen Jensen in second place there. Niels Christian Iversen was third, and at the back was Andreas Jonsson out of contention on that occasion, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot of him as the meeting goes on. Remember, the top 8 go through to the semi-finals after 5 rides apiece. That's 20 heats, all about finishing in the top 8. So you probably need around 9 points to be sure.
Let me see the first corner again. He's just pushed a little wide by Jepsen Jensen, but gets his wheels in line. And got to say, the bike setup must be spot on, because it really did dig in and drive hard down the back straight, and he gets the better of the opposition. This is a nice angle. He's allowing the bike just to sweep round in the middle of the track, and he's got plenty of grip, and therefore that translates into lots of speed. Sweeps around the outside of Jepsen Jensen. Jepsen Jensen has to ride quite defensively then, because Niels Christian Iversen in third place is coming on strong. But Zagar from Slovenia, that's a nice ride. He's got a lovely style too. As I say, he was very impressive yesterday. The ideal start for him.
Very much so. Matty Zagar, winner of the Grand Prix in Finland last year, so we know he's got it in his locker, and he'll be delighted to get off to a winning start like that. Now the wild card in red here is Craig Cook, and no doubt he'll be nervous. He has done some laps here on the Millennium Stadium track before, but he's got 1 or 2 issues. He's the last to appear here. The other 3 riders are at the start, and Cook has only got 40 seconds to get there.
Yeah, that's a little bit concern for him. He was the wild card last year, as you say, and he knows the place. He's got brand new equipment. I must say they've invested heavily coming into this event. Going to take the short way to the start line. It's on the inside, which will be a massive advantage. It's a terrifically tough race. I mean, 2 world champions on the start line, and under 21 world champion as well, so tough opening race for Cook.
Cook off the inside, Matsianovsky goes off gate 2 in blue, and what a terrific run of form he's in.
Yeah.
Chris Holder, gate 3 in white, recovered from a sickness bug which ruled him out of Pool's meeting at King's Lynn on Wednesday. And the legendary Greg Hancock going off the outside in yellow, heat number 3. Here we go, wins so far for Nicky Pedersen and Matty Zagar. Can Cook make the gate? Off the inside here, the wild card. Finished second in the British final at Wolverhampton.
Oh! Janowski moves, no question about that. Red light on immediately. Krista Gardell, no choice, had to put the red light on. You could feel the anticipation there. And such a strong lineup. Clearly moves. He's a very fortunate boy not to touch the tapes.
Yeah, the nerves are on. We are hearing all 4 riders back. But he was so close there, wasn't he?
Very, very fortunate not to just kiss the tapes with his front tyre.
Is that an Achilles heel in Magic's game, do you think?
Well, he's still a youngster, isn't it? It's his first full season at this level, and quite clearly feeling the nerves, and that's understandable in the, you know, when you consider how many people are in here, the intensity of the atmosphere, Nigel. You know, you wouldn't be human if you didn't really have a few butterflies in your tummy.
Phil Morris indicating to the riders that the 2 minutes has gone on immediately. Phil Morris, the race director from Wales, local Grand Prix, and I know he'll be very, very proud to be in that position in his home country here tonight at the Millennium Stadium. And
absolutely, and rightly so. It's a terrific moment for him. It's a big role he's got, and it's been a tough season, but he'll be hoping that things go smoothly tonight. Janowski, of course, now needs to just behave himself on the start line. Cook will be desperate to try and get off to a good start and get amongst the points, but this is a very, very competitive race. And I must say that Holder knows what it's all about to win here, Nige, doesn't he? He has had some super evenings here. Hancock, of course, won here last year in a fabulous final with the showdown with Ty Woofenden.
Here we go, restart. Cook off the inside. Maciej Janowski goes off gate 2 in blue. Janowski, who rides for the Pool Pirates here in the UK. Chris Holder off gate 3 in white, also a Pool Pirates rider. And Greg Hancock goes off the outside in the yellow helmet. This is heat number 3, and no doubt Krista Gardell, the referee, will have got a message down to the pits area, tell them to sit still.
Yeah, it would be a warning, of course, for Janowski. And the Pool Pirates story continues with Hancock, of course, because he came in and won the league title with them a couple of years ago. So there's a theme there, but Hancock is renowned for his starting ability, and he needs to be sharp away from the tapes because...
By the way, Greg Hancock, a lovely gesture today. He's got the word buoy on his Kevlars because today is the sad anniversary of the passing of a good pal of his, Darren Bucock, Darren and Sharon. And it's nice that he's got that on his Kevlars today. Craig Cook, what a start for the wild card. In red, he is away and running. Now Hancock is going to really charge hard at the inside. Janowski is third here. Holder is at the back, but Craig Cook is looking quick. He isn't being overawed by the occasion. And Craig Cook of the Edinburgh Monarchs of Bellevue Ace is looking superb. Yeah. Holder comes through in a second.
Fabulous ride there from Chris Holder to get the better of Janowski, and then Hancock. What a start from Craig Cook. Brilliant away from the tapes, and he's winding it all out in front. New equipment for this meeting specifically. Holder looks very, very quick in second place, but Craig Cook, what a start this is for him. The wild card, a lap to go, should get the 3 points.
Yep, here we go down the back straight. He's not going to be beaten here. This is a dream start for the wild card, and let the British crowd bring him home. It's Craig Cook. What a moment in that man's career. He will never, ever forget that. He's punching the air with delight. He can't believe what's just happened there. He's beaten 2 world champions. He's got pride in the race bib. He's delighted to be here. And Craig Cook of Edinburgh and Bellevue as wildcard has won his first heat in the Millennium Stadium tonight.
Well, what a spectacular ride. Fabulous start to keep his concentration after the restart. Got to say, that's outstanding. Renowned for his starting, but not only did he make a good start, he had plenty of speed. Brilliant ride from Craig Cook.
Wow, Craig Cook. He found life tough here before.
You had big odds on that, Nige.
Oh,
look at the quality of the lineup.
Yeah, 2 world champions and Janowski, a world under-21 champion. So effectively 3 world champions he's beaten there. Cook, Holder, Hancock and Janowski. What a moment in the career. It's a career-defining moment for Craig Cook there.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. It was spectacular. He didn't panic in front either. He must have felt at times that somebody was going to come hunting him down, but by crikey, he rode beautifully out in front, drops the clutch and the bike digs in. What a great feeling that is on such a huge occasion. Inside gate has been really an advantageous early on in the meeting. Hits that first corner and charges down the back straight. Bike really does fire to the first corner brilliantly. He's comfortable there in the first corner. Janowski shows early, but gets swamped immediately by Hancock. And all credit to Chris Holder. This was a super ride from the Australian, coming from last place and getting the better of the current world champion to slot nicely into second place. But Craig Cook, what an opening ride this is for him. Comfortable out in front, a clean pair of heels to the opposition. Brilliant start for him.
Well, it may be slick, but we are seeing some passing here, Kelvin. Not necessarily for the lead itself, but
there is a bit of dirt, Nige.
There is something to work on there.
Here we go. Cook, 3 points to his name. Probably can't quite believe it. He just needs to stay calm, keep his feet on the ground, and keep going.
Yeah, well done, Craig Cook. Fantastic. Here we go with Heat 4. Troy Batchelor inside red from Australia, right to the Swindon Robins. Peter Killerman, a former Swindon rider, he comes in as an injury replacement for the GP in place of Yarra Campbell, gate 2 in blue, and we do wish Yarra Campbell the very, very best in his recovery. Thomas H. Jonathan, gate 3 in white, and Ty Woffington, who is the leader of the World Championship. He goes off the tricky outside gate here. This is a test for Woffington.
Yeah, it is. It really is a challenge because the outside gate hasn't been too good so far. Here we go.
Well, it's a good start from the inside for Batchelor. Now, which way will Woffington go? Because he's at the back at the moment. He's going to try to switch up the inside, but he's missed out there. And Woffington is at the back. Now he's going to try hard and come through to the... Jonasson is battling away here with Killerman. And now here comes Woffington. But the lead superbly is with Troy Batchelor of Australia. And Ty Woffington is in the back. And that means Nicky Pedersen will be just 3 points behind him if it stays like this now.
Gate 1 once again is proving to be a real big advantage early on in the meeting. It's Batchelor out in front, riding really nicely. Woffington just got jammed in traffic on the opening lap. It's still out the back. Kilderman coming in for Ample looks pretty strong in second place, and Thomas H. Jonathan in third is coming under pressure from Woffington, but Batchelor out in front is looking good here. He's looking fast.
Yeah, Batchelor looking super quick. We know he can do it. He did it Copenhagen on a track similar to this, and he's looking very smooth. What a ride from Troy Batchelor. And the man in second in blue was Peter Killerman, and third place there went to Thomas H. Jonasson. And a lot of the pre-meeting publicity surrounding Ty Woffington, and this crowd have gone a little bit quiet all of a sudden.
That was a bit of anticlimax. I do believe that Gate 4 really is quite a big disadvantage in the opening heats. We've seen riders really struggling from there, including Andreas Johnson and Chris Harris, but Troy Batchelor, brilliant away from the inside.
Batchelor, Killerman, Jonasson, Woffington. It means that the winners so far in the opening 4 heats are Pedersen, Zagar, Batchelor and Cook, and the World Championship is led by Woffington, but now by only 3 points.
Well, what a super ride that was from Troy Batchelor. Gate 1 has been the outstanding gate in the opening races, and he took full advantage. Woffington, we see here from the outside, just gets jammed in traffic. He tries to cut back, but Kilderman is in the way, and he has to shut the throttle, and this gets relegated to 4th place. And unfortunately for the championship leader, he cannot land a blow from there. Batchelor, of course, from the inside, dominates that first corner. Kilderman is nicely into second place with Jonasson pushing him hard early on, but as hard as Woffington tries here, he just cannot find a way through, and they'll be just going back. No panic, I'm sure. There's 4 more opportunities for him, but an excellent start for Troy Batchelor, who has had a difficult season so far.
Yeah, he certainly has. Failed to score in the opening round on that aborted meeting at Warsaw, but then picked up a 7 and a 6, and now he's got a 3 here in Cardiff, so it's a good start for Troy Batchelor, but, well, there's going to be a lot of twists and turns in this meeting, Kelvin, tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I just think that Gate 4, when you reflect on the first 4 races, there has been you've effectively had one hand tied behind your back, because all riders have found it very difficult. Hancock, Johnson, Harris, Woffington, all have found it extremely difficult to get amongst the big points, whereas the inside gate has almost been an unfair advantage. So I'm sure we'll see it settle down, but right now the inside gate is where you want to be.
Early thoughts on the track?
Fabulous. We've seen overtaking, there's no bumps, there's no ruts. I think we're going to see something quite special, and you know, the racing surface is looking absolutely perfect.
Yeah, terrific crowd once again. A little bit of track grading going on, which is traditional. They do it after every 4 heats. So they're doing it again here, but a very encouraging start, and as Kelvin mentioned, Gate 4, very, very tricky.
Yeah, just not the same amount of grip there. You could see Woffington, when he dropped the clutch, he was spinning, didn't get the drive, whereas on the inside, when you saw Craig Cook drop the clutch, the bike dug in and really drove forward very hard, and he was well clear when he got to the first corner, and that really is a massive advantage. Woofenden will get the inside gates as he goes through his remaining 4 rides, and he needs to now take full advantage of those.
Well, the next one is Woofenden against Pedersen. Woofenden off 1, Nicky Pedersen off gate 2. It's in the next heat, and they are the top 2 in the World Championship.
And Ty now, on the evidence of the first 4 races, will be chuffed to realise that he's now coming off the best gate. And Nicky Pedersen, of course, made the start from the inside in his opening ride, so should be an opportunity for Woofenden.
It's Troy Batchelor speaking to our Polish colleagues.
Zwycięstwa, 3 punkty na jego koncie z tego pierwszego pola. And Troy, there is no better way to start the meeting from the heat win, from the red gate, which works as well, the best one.
Yeah, it looks like gate 1's working really well, and I was lucky enough to have that. I used it well, and I got off to a good start, and I got 4 laps clear, so you know, the bike felt pretty good, and I didn't have any traffic. I just went alone my own way, so it was good. Change a few things and see if we can make it work off gate 2 in the next race.
Yeah, the traffic is one thing, but the speed was good also.
Yeah, I watched a bit back on the TV, and it looked okay. So the bike's 95% there, so a few more changes, we get it there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Troy mówi tylko tyle. Oczywiście nie ma tak jak zacząć od
Batch understandably happy and key there, the inside gate, he's mentioned it.
Absolutely, yeah, there's, you know, the first 4 heats, the inside gate was where you needed to be, and, you know, once he'd hit the front, he was pretty pleased with the way the bike was working, just a few tweaks, and he'll be hoping he can make the start from gate 2. Interesting heat number 5, of course. Pedersen is renowned for his starting ability. Woofenden will be frustrated by not scoring in his opening ride, but now when you look at the way it worked out in the first 4 races, Ty Woofenden does need to take advantage of the inside gate. Can't afford to have another poor ride. He'll be on the back foot after a couple of races.
Yep, Jepsen Jensen here, the man in white, will be up against his fellow Dane, Nicky Pedersen. We've got Chris Holder here off the outside as well.
Yeah, and Chris actually showed some really good speed in his opening ride. He didn't get away from the tapes that well, but he was able to get round the outside of 2 riders, and in actual fact, he rode very well and looked like he was very determined. And I do know that he really likes riding here in the Millennium Stadium, and wouldn't surprise me at all that he has a big night.
Let's hear from the wildcard hero, Craig Cook. He's with Steve Brandon.
Craig Cook, a dream start in your first race.
You don't get much better than that, mate. Yeah, pretty epic. Yeah, I don't know what to say really, to be honest. I'm lost for words, but yeah, awesome feeling, you know, to have that crowd raise the roof for me, and you know, must be a very select few that's won a race at Cardiff, British riders. So yeah, it feels absolutely epic, mate.
It's not many, but to gather yourself again as a restart, you didn't see Magic move beside you, but you have to come back and do it all again.
Yeah, I kind of realised he jumped, and yeah, I was, like I said to you, I think I said to you earlier on in this week, yesterday, there's no nerves whatsoever. I'm just calm and cool and collective, and you know, I've really got my thoughts together, and you know, I said to the boys, whatever will be tonight, and you know, 100 to 1, and not bad odds.
Great way to kick it off. Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, brother.
Well, yeah, great start for Craig Cook there as we build up to Heat 5. And this is a fascinating lineup. 3 world champions in this one. Woofenden, Pedersen, 3-time world champion, and Chris Holder. So a fantastic lineup here. Can Woofenden take advantage of the inside gate?
Well, I think he's got to. When you look at the evidence of the first 4 races, he needs to make sure that he really nails this now. He'll be frustrated by the fact that he didn't score in his opening ride. And now's a great opportunity for him to try and hit the front and get the 3 points in the bag. It won't be easy. It will be a tough task, because Pedersen is, of course, chuffed to bits with his opening ride. So Woofenden, the championship leader, can he do it?
Woofenden's lead in the World Championship has been slashed by half in the opening 4 heats tonight, with Pedersen's win and Woofenden's last place. Big question now, can Woofenden take advantage of the inside? This is going to be well worth watching. Woofenden, Pedersen, Jepsen, Jensen and Holder. Yeah. 3 world champions doing battle here, plus Jepsen, Jensen. And really a lot of pressure now on Woofenden and whether he can take advantage of that inside gate.
Absolutely, it's vital that he gets amongst the points this time. He won't want to go back with another 0. He'll be under an awful lot of pressure then to try and make the semi-finals. But Woofenden's a pretty calm character these days, full of confidence. He should be able to produce something now.
Here we go then, this is heat number 5. Away from the start, Wooffinden's made a beauty. That's more like Ty Wooffinden. Now here comes Holder around the outside of Nicky Pedersen. That's a great ride from Chris Holder, closes the door on Pedersen. The Millennium Stadium erupts here as Ty Wooffinden has the lead. Second place, Chris Holder. Nicky Pedersen is third, and Michael Jensen at the back.
Yeah, the inside gate has worked a treat there for Wooffinden. He really dropped the clutch beautifully, and the bike drove hard to the first corner. Holder got the better of Pedersen initially round the outside once again, and he's riding hard in second place. Jensen's out the back and Pedersen third, but Wooffinden now is settling down. He's beginning to relax on the motorbike. He's pulling further away, and I'm sure the crowd are going to go mad when he wins this race. Super ride from Wooffinden.
British Grand Prix and the British leader. Like Craig Cook, let's let the British crowd bring him home. Wow, what a noise here in the Millennium Stadium. Absolutely fabulous scenes. And Ty Wooffinden has just clawed back 2 points there on Pedersen and now leads the World Championship by 5 points. He's on one wheel. He's the darling of the British crowd. And he has just pulled off an absolutely vital race win in the Millennium Stadium. Wooffinden from Holder, who is really working hard tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Super ride, takes advantage. He remained calm, didn't panic. Knew the inside gate was working well. Used it to full effect. Smashing ride from Wooffinden.
Ty Wooffinden the winner then. Chris Holder taking second spot there, with Nicky Pedersen third and Michael Jensen trailing at the back. It means that Holder's on a 4, Pedersen 4, Wooffinden on 3 with that race win, and that was vital, particularly after running a last in his opening ride.
Yeah, in the race before, and all of a sudden gate 4 was awful and gate 1 is brilliant. Here we see it again. He drops the clutch spot on, the bike digs in and drives hard to the first corner. It really is the gate to be on. I've got to say, Chris Holder rides very well here. Coming from the outside is never easy, and Pedersen's into second place. And Chris has got some speed in the bike this evening. He's had 2 solid rides, 2 second places and 4 points to his name. Riding hard there, had to do that, had to slam the door shut, getting around the outside of Pedersen. But Wooffinden, once he had a couple of laps, he stretched the lead and he won in fine style. Celebrates also in fine style.
A lot of media attention surrounding this fella. Born in Scunthorpe, but then his family emigrated to Australia when he was but a toddler.
Yeah.
Came back over to Europe to Scunthorpe, returned to Scunthorpe when he was, what, 15 years of age. And he's come through the ranks, and the story is that Wooffinden came over to see if he could make it as a speedway rider. Well, he's been world champion once, he's the British champion 3 times, and he leads the world championship again.
So, you've got to believe
he's done all right.
He's getting there, isn't he? He's getting there.
Heat number 6, here we go. Peter Kellerman on the inside. What about Craig Cook? What can he do from gate number 2 now in blue? Jason Doyle goes off gate 3 in white. They're settling nicely to life in the GP at the top table of the sport. And off the outside in yellow and black, it's a tough one for Niels Christian Iversen.
Yeah, I keep my fingers crossed for Craig Cook. Sometimes you have such a wonderful moment and then it's quite difficult to back it up. And coming off of gate 2, let's hope that he can reproduce something very similar to what he did in his opening ride. Kilderman on the inside will be a tough customer. He's really is a hard charger. Iversen's got the tough gate 4. Cook on gate 2, can he come up with something special?
Yeah, Killerman's always good to watch, and he's made a good start. Absolute jet propelled Peter Killerman, but look at Cook! He's just switching up the inside. Can he take him white? No! Killerman blasts around the outside, and that's a lovely move from Doyle. Jason Doyle in white. Here comes Killerman again. Down the home straight. Wonderful speedway!
Oh!
He's gone! He's gone!
Doyle up the inside of Kilderman. Certainly there was... Well, he pushed him really hard. Kilderman slipped off. Krista Gardell's going to have to come up with a big decision, I fear. Quite possible. Doyle may well have forced Kilderman off there. No quarter given going into the first turn, second time around. Half a gap. Charging up. He was in front. Runs in narrow, but inevitably, because when you do that, you're going to run across the corner.
Here's the good angle to watch. He's hit his knee. He's hit his knee there.
And the front wheel.
There you go. I think Doyle's going to have to go here, Kelv.
Tough on Doyle, because Doyle just momentarily just about gets his nose in front, but wasn't quite enough room for him, really. He had the front wheel well over the inside line. I fear for Doyle here. I think he's going to get excluded.
If there was no contact, Kelv, Doyle might have got away with that.
Well, Kilderman wouldn't have gone down, would he?
There you go, that's a very good point, well made. after studying it carefully. Wow.
I do think that Doyle will... I'd be surprised if Kilderman's excluded, put it that way.
Krista Gardell, the referee has made the decision. The white light is on. That means Doyle is out. Jason Doyle disqualified from the restart of heat number 6.
Shame, just saw an opportunity and then the door got slammed shut just as he'd made the move. And with the contact going into turn 1 for the second time, came in narrow, came in hard, just collected Kilderman and Kilderman went down. Shame for Doyle because he's riding well. We saw him, of course, last Monday in Britain riding for his the Leicester Lions, and he was in fine form.
Yeah, we enjoyed being there last Monday. No complaints from Doyle to the referee. He knows it's tough, but he's not gone to the phone. He hasn't gone to the pitch telephone.
Well over the
inside. He's just accepted it.
Front wheel was well over the inside. He was squeezed there, but he'd committed himself. It's a racing incident, no malice. See how far over the front wheel was there, well over the inside. Nothing wrong with that in itself. Unfortunately for him, though, there was a rider right alongside him. There's contact, clear contact now. Just nudging the left knee initially of Kilderman. But now, when the bike then collects the front wheel, Kilderman's got no choice but to go down.
Shame. That was developing into a good race as well. It would have been nice if they
yeah,
stayed
Doyle,
up.
I fancy, you know, he could have a big night, but he's just made his life a little bit more difficult.
Looked really quick there. So a bit of extra time will be allowed now for Kilderman to prepare himself for the restart. Troy Batchelor knows he's on the big screen. No wonder he's got a smile on his face. He's a winner first time out. He's out in the next heat as well, heat number 7.
Just reflecting on the race again, Cook had got beaten up actually going down the back straight. He just found himself in no man's land. And he could do with now just regrouping a little bit so that he can try and work it out because he hadn't quite got there out of gate 2.
No, it's tough at the top, isn't it, in Speedway, the
True,
Grand Prix?
right.
Yep.
Absolutely, you know, you can win a race and then very easily you can be last in a race. The difference between winning and losing is so small, it's quite frightening at times.
Well, Jason Doyle can give us a bit of reaction now, right in the heat of the moment. He's with Steve Brandon.
Jason, your views on that call?
What can you say? It's a GP to go in hard. I know Kilderman's not the one to lay it down, but that was a bit of a pussy slide off.
I mean, for you, you saw a gap at this level. You've just said it. You have to take those chances.
100%, mate. It's the world title. If any point counts to get into the semi, and yeah, a bit hard done by, but I've got another 3 races and I'm going to push hard.
You picked yourself up from that in Prague, early doors a little bit, blip, and it went well. Again, just got to focus now.
Yeah, that's it. It's all a learning curve. We should be right. I just need to make some good starts and then ride hard like I did before.
Thanks for your time.
Good interview from Jason. He's a very level-headed guy, rides for the Leicester Lions in the British League, very popular there and has been riding superbly. But, you know, yeah, it is tough, but to be honest with you, Kelv, I didn't see any other option for Krista Gardell.
No, it was unfortunate for Doyle, but Krista Gardell had to exclude him. Just needs to, sometimes you find yourself where you've committed to something and it just doesn't quite work out. But he's not a youngster, you know, he's 29 years of age. He's got the maturity now to sort of put that to the back of his mind and refocus on his upcoming rides.
Here we go then, the riders making their way out for the restart of heat number 6. The first man to appear is Peter Kilderman.
Well, Peter Kilderman is a very exciting rider, of course. We've seen him do all sorts of stuff as a wild card. And he's made finals, of course, before. Jarek Hampel, of course, is the man he replaces, and never ideal coming in to replace a long-term injury victim, but Kilderman won't be too worried about opposition. He is a very confident man. I'm sure he's going to really be fired up to produce something special here.
Yep, so the riders now out on the track, and really is a fantastic occasion. If you're watching this tonight and wondering what the atmosphere is really like, I'm led to believe that ticket sales for next year's British Grand Prix go on sale on Monday afternoon. And if you're a youngster watching this with your mum or dad or both, ask them to buy you it for a present and come along next year. Why not? Terrific atmosphere and people of all ages, Cal. There's 3 generations of people, families here watching this meeting tonight.
Terrific cross-section of ages. And that's great to see. Certainly the youngsters, there's plenty of them here, and I'm sure they're Loving it. It's very noisy. I hope they've got some ear defenders on, because it really is ear deafening out there with the roof shut.
Pardon?
Excuse me.
Pardon?
Come again. But just the 3 this time, Nige. Second time of asking. And fingers crossed for Craig Cook that he can reproduce the sort of start he did in his opening ride.
Killerman, Cook, then Everson off the outside. It is deafening out there in the main area. We're in our commentary box high above the start-finish line.
Super view.
Really enjoying it, yeah.
Super view.
Privileged to be here, Kelv, again.
Absolutely. The novelty has not worn off in the 15 times we've been here. It really is something very special. Settling down now. Kilderman on the inside is a great opportunity once again for him to try and hit the front from the inside gate.
Here we go, heat number 6, the rerun. Killerman again from the inside has made a good one. Everson will sweep across. Cook up the inside. Now this time can he go wide? Now Killerman is going to switch. What a move from Peter Killerman. Now Cook will try to switch as well. Everson comes through into second spot. And once again Craig Cook has just found it a little bit too hot to handle.
Absolutely, really tough speedway in the opening lap. Good stuff from the first corner from Cook, but you've got to say Kilderman came charging up the inside. Everson then got the better of Cook as they completed the first lap. Kilderman out in front, very spectacular rider, hangs off the side of the bike, beginning to really stretch his legs down the back straight. Everson charging hard in second place, but Cook, you know, with the win in his opening ride, it's not disastrous, still picks up a point and will move on to 4, but Peter Kilderman from the inside gate, very impressive.
Look how smooth he looks on the speedway bike. Peter Kilderman of Denmark. 3 big points for him. He moves on to 5 out of 6. And he's only an injury replacement in the GP. Peter Kilderman, 5 points out of 6 now. In for Jarek Ampel tonight. And a second place followed up by that victory. And it was a good speedway race as well, because Niels Christian Everson charged through and managed to split Kilderman and Cook and get a vital second place. But a good ride from Peter Kilderman, the spectacular Dane.
Yeah, super ride, chuffed to bits, quite clearly delighted to have won there, the restart there. Made a little bit of a hard work in the first corner, went a bit too wide, but came powering through.
Peter Kilderman, the race winner, second place Niels Christian Everson, third was Craig Cook, and Kilderman now goes to the top of the leaderboard. 5 points from 2 rides after 6 heats of this Adrian Flux British FIM Speedway Grand Prix, ahead of Pedersen, Cook, Holder, and how Craig Cook needs to take a snapshot of that graphic. Level on points in Cardiff with 2 world champions. Brilliant for him.
Yeah, absolutely, but we're seeing it again. Second time of asking, of course. Kilderman does go a little bit too wide, I fear, here, trying to take care of Everson. That allowed Cook momentarily to hit the front. We see it again. Kilderman on the inside, goes right towards the fence as he goes into the first corner. Cook then gets beaten up down the back straight by Kilderman, who goes up the inside. And then Everson then does the same as they go through turns 3 and 4 on the opening lap. It's Everson that then is able to get up the inside of Cook, who finds it a little bit too hot out in front. That man doesn't. He's on to 5 points. Fist pumping after the race is completed, and Peter Kilderman once again showing he has true quality at this level.
Jakob Olsen is in the shot there as well. Jakob Olsen is a former rider, and they're big pals in Denmark, of course. And Jakob was in his pit corner at the World Cup. What a World Cup that was a couple of weeks ago in Voyens as well. What a final it was.
Fabulous, great effort from the Swedes. They were the underdogs going in. Nobody fancied them, but they came out victors, and a great boost for Swedish Speedway as well.
And we're there in 3 weeks' time in Malilla for the Swedish Grand Prix, and in the next GP, by the way, 2 weeks tonight in Latvia, in Daugavpils. Here's Mats Janowski, Troy Batchelor, Matti Zagar and Christoph Kasperzak, 2 race winners in the middle 2 gates here of heat number 7.
Absolutely, Janowski, of course, is a rider that's been riding brilliantly, had a great Prague Grand Prix. Disappointing opening ride tonight, but he's coming out of the favoured inside gate now, so he needs to get amongst the points. Zagar could be the danger. Zagar was very impressive in his opening ride.
Here we go, heat number 7. Can one of these riders maintain an unbeaten record? Janowski's made a good one off the inside gate. Now Batchelor is going wide. Can Batchelor make the drive work down that back straight? He's got lots of speed. He's going to try and go up the inside now. Janowski is going hard, wide in red. Zagar's charging hard after Troy Batchelor now as well, but Mats Janowski has the lead. Troy Batchelor second, Matti Zagar is third, and Christoph Kasperzak surprisingly well and truly adrift as Zagar tries to switch up the inside. The ugly move!
Super move from Zagar up the inside. textbook move from him, out in front. Janowski looking much more like himself. He beginning to stretch his leg. Bachelor was certainly looking strong in second place, but all credit to Zagar, really flying in second place. Janowski out in front, much more like it. Real battle for second place. Bachelor now coming back hard at Zagar.
This is for 2 points. Zagar with a switch down to the line.
Whoa!
Lovely move from Matty Zagar.
Fabulous ride from Zagar. Brilliant stuff from Bachelor to come back in the picture. Out of the last corner, Zagar switches to the inside. Spectacular speedway, proper speedway. Gotta say, really did have the crowd on the edge of their seats. That's what it's all about, Grand Prix Speedway, you know. Janowski, though, he'll be pleased as punch to bounce back from a disappointing opening ride.
Very much so, terrific
What
ride.
a ride for second place.
And a great race for second, as you quite rightly say, Kelv. It was brilliant to watch, and the way they were switching and trying to second-guess each other. Janowski the winner, Matty Zagar second, Troy Bachelor was third. And after 7 races now, Zagar level with Killerman on 5 points apiece, and we are seeing some great speedway here from riders who quite clearly are revelling on the smooth surface of this Millennium Stadium track.
I was just going to say, how good is this track? This is proper speedway out there, folks. There's no question of that. We've got the brilliant surface with a little bit of grip on it, and there are plenty of racing lines. Janowski early doors away from the inside gate still working so very well. Hugs the inside, classy move from him. Bachelor initially is into second place. Zagar then biding his time. Zagar, of course, won his opening ride. Super move earlier on then to Zagar to get the better of Bachelor, but all credit to Troy Bachelor. He comes right back into the thick of it. This is the early move from Zagar. Then Bachelor then really pushes hard and gets himself back into second place. And out of the last corner, that switch to the inside by Zagar, and he snatches second place back in a super race with just for 2 points. But that really was an entertaining race for second place.
Matty Zagar, who rides for the Bellevue Aces in the UK. Great ride from Matt Janowski. We shouldn't overlook that. That was a terrific ride from the man they call Magic.
Needed it.
Yep, pulled off a bit of magic there, Janowski. And yeah, Zagar rides for Bellevue. And interesting that Bellevue's new stadium will be ready for Speedway next year. It is right next door to the current Bellevue Stadium on Kirkmanshire Lane. And they've got a grand opening night on the 19th of March next year, where Nicky Pedersen and Ty Woffenden have already agreed to appear.
Brilliant.
What a night.
Really looking forward to that. The plans for it look spectacular.
They do. Chris Harris off the inside, Andreas Jonsson off 2, so no points between those two. Greg Hancock off gate 3 in white, needs a boost here.
Yep.
Thomas H. Jonathan off the outside in yellow, but a real opportunity for Chris Harris, because he has the favourable gate number 1 now in heat number 8.
Absolutely, and the two riders on gates 1 and 2 had gate 4 in their opening ride, so just shows you how tough that racing position, that start position was. Need to take advantage of the inside gates now.
Big race coming up here. Oh, a little bit of movement there, and the referee has allowed the race to continue, but Harris now, he has to try and take Hancock wide. Down the back straight, it closes the door. Now Hancock is going to have to really go wide and have a go. Harris has the lead. Hancock's going to try the inside run. Harris has left the door open. Harris left the door open, and Hancock, the old master, has taken the lead, and Jonasson has just closed the door on his fellow countryman Jonsson.
Super ride from Greg Hancock initially. Harris looked like he had it under control, but just ran a little wide coming out of turn 4 and left the door open. And Hancock, but he didn't need a second invitation, did he? He just slipped through the inside, looking a lot better. Jonsson's out the back, he's struggling, he's not fast enough. Harris out of shape. Thomas H. Jonasson coming on hard in 3rd place, but the world champion out in front, riding beautifully.
Hancock has opened up a significant lead on Harris, and it's a terrific ride from Greg Hancock of the USA in white. A lot of talk about heat 13 when he will meet Nicky Pedersen less than a fortnight after, well, what can only be described as a physical coming together between him and Nicky in Swedish League action. There's a lot made of that. That's coming up in heat 13, but Hancock is still hugely popular here in the UK. First came over here to ride professionally in 1989 with the Cradley Heathens, and is still as popular as ever. And great to see so many Cradley fans in the crowd tonight supporting Greg Hancock too. Heat number 8, terrific ride. Hancock, Harris, Jonasson and Jonsson. This is what it means now. Every rider's had 2 rides, and it's Zagar and Killerman who lead the pecking order.
Well, that was more like it from Hancock. He struggled in his opening ride. He was in quite a strong position initially, but then faded. This time he did move a little bit there. Mr. Gardell could have pulled that back. He's rolling. Probably gets away with it a little bit, to be perfectly honest, but it's Harris that hits the first corner. He's there, rides a nice first corner, but can't then resist the charge from this man who comes steaming up the inside as they complete the first lap. And then Harris then has to settle for second place after leading the race early on. Just leaves too much racing room as they go into the first corner, second time of asking rather. Hancock, the style of a world champion, out in front, looking much more like it, moving sweetly on to 4 points.
Yeah, great ride from Greg Hancock, wasn't it, on that occasion? Absolutely superb, and he had to do it the hard way as he passed Chris, but Chris Harris just left him a bit too much room there, Kel.
Yeah, he thought he had a little bit more room than or a bit more comfort room than he thought, and he allowed the bike to run wide coming out of turn 4, and Hancock read it beautifully and was able to get up the
Z
inside.
nami oczywiście Peter Kildemand, 2 starty i 5 punktów na jego koncie. Peter, 5 points already. A little bit of struggling in the
Polish
first
colleagues
attempt in
talking
the second
to
heat,
Peter
but
Killerman
then
now.
No problem at all.
No, yeah, it's good to have 5 points now, and just need to get some points every race, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Oczywiście muszę zbierać punkty w każdym wyścigu, zobaczymy dalej co się stanie. No cóż, to punkty dają nagrodę. So score the points, man, and good luck.
Thank you, dziękuję.
Dziękujemy bardzo.
Good stuff from Kilderman so far. 5 points to his name. Good ride last time, picking up the 3 points, and no surprise for me, Nige, that Kilderman has started well.
Yeah, he's a terrific rider. He's good to watch, always good to watch. Peter Killerman, no doubt about that. And let's hear from Peter now, speaking to Steve Brandon.
Peter, 2 rides, 5 points, almost perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like I just need to get some points every race, and yeah, 5 points after 2 races, brilliant.
And I know you're an exciting rider. You like to race hard. Jason Doyle saw a little chance there, but not quite a big enough gap.
No, not like fair play. He go for the gap, and yeah, I went down, and yeah, that's racing.
But for you, coming in early stage of the season, a lot of people are saying Peter Killerman can make the top 8 with nine rounds to go.
It's going to be tough, but I will do my best, and we will see.
Well, it's a great start tonight. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you.
Yes, super start to tonight's proceedings for Peter Kilderman. Obviously, if he does do 9 rounds, he will have a chance. It remains to be seen if Jarek Campbell can make some sort of comeback later this year, but he has a broken leg which had needed 5 hours of surgery. But Kilderman with 5 points to his name from 2 heats is a super start for his evening's work. Well, let's get back down to Steve Brown. He's got John McGuinness with him.
John McGuinness, a little bird told me that you were at Silverstone earlier in the day. That was a quick trip.
Yeah, we watched qualifying, and at 2 o'clock, as soon as I got off the track, I was off after qualifying, jumped in the van, flat out down the A34, M4 to get here for opening ceremony. So just perfect day, perfect day.
Perfect timing. And speaking of quick trips, a new lap record at the Isle of Man. You love that place.
Yeah, the job's on fire. I mean, I'm 43 years old, not getting any younger, but I still love it. And yeah, 132.7, you know, around the track in 17 minutes and 3 seconds to do 38 miles. So yeah, we're getting there.
You're trying to catch Greg Hancock in age, but you never will. But Speedway, you love Speedway.
Yeah, big Speedway fan. I wouldn't miss Cardiff for anything. And you know, we had Greg over at the TT. He had a great time, and you know, we're supporting Greg tonight as well as Ty. And you know, it's just what a great atmosphere out there, and we're having a great time. Brought the full family with us, so it's just a mega night in Cardiff.
And Speedway, the Goodwood Festival of Speed this year.
Yeah, last weekend we was there. We was riding all sorts of exotic bikes. I saw Greg again on the Speedway bike, but yeah, we're just you know, we're just relaxing a bit after the TT. A couple of weeks of just taking it all in, absorbing it all, and living the dream. To be fair, you know, so you know, long may it continue. You know, I don't want to retire just yet. I think there's a year or 2 left in me just yet.
So what's next for John McGuinness on a bike?
Well, the next race for me is an 8-hour endurance race in Germany, and then the classic TT, and then we've got the 24-hour race at the Bol d'Or in Paul Ricard, and then at the end of the year we've got the Macau Grand Prix, and then get around the table with Honda and try and screw them down to a deal.
And no one's listening, just between you and me. Who's your money on tonight?
Woofy.
All right, good prediction. We'll see how that goes later. Thanks, John.
That's the easy answer, Kelv.
Yeah, he didn't stretch himself too much there, but fabulous achievement from John McGuinness to break the track record at the TT. That really is outstanding.
Now let's head down to the pits and let's hear from Ty Woffington with Steve.
Ty, great way to bounce back into the meeting in Heat 5.
Yeah, made a bit of a mistake with the setup in the first race and had a track grade to sort it out. So yeah, the second one was better.
Great reception from the fans tonight in Cardiff as always.
Yeah, amazing. You know, it doesn't get any better than this. It's a pleasure to be a part of it.
When you walk down that ramp with the light show, with the music, with the fans going, it's hard not to get excited here, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It gave me goosebumps, and it takes a lot to do that, you know. So, what a great place to be.
And Speedway this weekend, but also you, a cause close to your heart, the Gosh 100K. How are we getting on with that?
I think we're nearly there. So, yeah, we're going to push hard throughout the meeting tonight on the text to donate, and hopefully we make it.
And a long way to go tonight. Lots of points to be made in the championship.
That's what it's all about.
Thanks, Ty.
Yeah, great way to recover after a poor ride. Said he had set-up problems, but I do think that Gate 4 was a massive hurdle to overcome in the first 4 races, and riders did find it quite a challenge, but no surprise to see him bounce back brilliantly in his second ride.
Yep, current World Championship standings then. Woffenden on 43, 5 ahead of Nicky Pedersen. This is only round 4, remember. So after tonight, we're only a third of the way through the season. So a long, long way to go. And heat number 9 is coming up. So Daugavpils's coming up next in a couple of weeks' time in Latvia for round 5 of the World Championship. Here we see Nicky Pedersen now. He's going off gate number 3. And the preferable inside gate is with Niels Christian Iversen, who goes in red then off the inside gate here. He'll be desperate to take advantage of that, and riders no doubt with their pit crew as well, Kel, will be only too aware of when they've got the inside gate, and there'll be a little bit of extra pressure to try and make it count when they're in red.
They need to, because the outside gates have been tough. There's been an extensive track grade here, so the material on the outside won't be there, so you really will need to try and get to the inside initially. Maciej Janowski's on the outside. I think he's got that twice in his draw. That may go against him tonight, will certainly make it more difficult. Pedersen, of course, he'll be a hard man to beat coming out of any start, but Iversen is in the box seat, going from the inside gate. Can he make it count?
Right, heat number 9 it is then, and it is Niels Christian Iversen off the inside gate in red. Thomas H. Jonassen of Sweden, gate 2 in blue. Nicky Pedersen a win and a third. Gate 3 in white for the 3-times world champion. And Maciej Janowski going off the outside in yellow. It's a big heat number 9. Can Iversen make it count off the inside gate now? He needs to, as he's got 3 points to his name so far. And you have to work really towards a 9-point score, Kelvin, to be confident of having a semi-final spot.
Yeah, you can make it on less, but you're right, because 9 would almost certainly get you through. Iversen has been steady so far. He looked a little more competitive last time. The inside gate needs to use it to full effect if he can.
Heat number 9 it is then. Christer Gardell is our referee. And it's a good one from Jonassen, but Iversen is there. Iversen has made it now. Pedersen has gone wide, and Pedersen is under serious pressure from Janowski, and they're all bunched up, and Pedersen comes through now, trying to challenge Thomas H. Jonassen. Iversen holds the lead. It's Jonassen second, Nicky Pedersen third, and the man at the back is Maciej Janowski.
Yeah, once again, Janowski having problems from the outside. The outside gate really is a disadvantage so far. Iversen made it from the inside nicely. Thomas H. Jonassen is riding hard in second place, but I tell you what, he needs to, because Nicky Pedersen is coming on strong in third place. Really strong indeed. Jonassen just getting a little bit of breathing space. Got to say that Iversen's away, looking good out in front. Thomas H. Jonassen with a lap to go is under an awful lot of pressure here.
Yeah, he can't afford to leave the door open, because Pedersen will pounce, but Iversen is looking good going into turns 3 and 4. Nicky Pedersen! Oh, real basket spin, and down to the line. Jonassen has just about held out. Oh, that was heart in mouth time when you have Nicky Pedersen charging at you, screaming up the inside. Great ride from Niels Christian Iversen, and Jonassen did enough to just about see off the challenge of Nicky Pedersen in white there.
Yeah, tough speedway there for second and third. Iversen was away, took full advantage of the inside gate, moving nicely onto 6 points. First race win of the night, rather. Super stuff from the Danish rider. Great battle between the Scandinavians for second and third, and Maciej Janowski was out the back, and all of a sudden Janowski's under a lot of pressure here. Here we see it again. Real good action for second and third, and this is the charge to the line with Thomas H. Jonassen just hanging on for second place. Disappointment for Maciej Janowski, who once again Gate 4 is proving to be extremely difficult to get amongst the points. Super ride from Iversen.
Niels Christian Iversen wins the race with Thomas H. Jonasson second, Nicky Pedersen was third, and Mats Janowski at the back, and it means that Nicky Pedersen moves on to 5 points, but he's had 3 rides now, a win and 2 third places. It is tough when you miss the start and you're not on the inside gate. It is really tough.
It is indeed, and we'll see it again. He's looking down at the bike, not enough grip, and just doesn't get amongst the points at all. Momentarily, it looks like he can get the better of Pedersen, but Pedersen's a tough customer. Slams the door shut, very nearly runs in the side of Thomas H. Jonasson in second place. Iversen's away, he has a comfortable ride out in front. Pedersen's so tough there in third place, really trying to intimidate the Swedish rider in second place, out of the way, late on again in the race, charging up the inside of Thomas H. Jonasson, trying to force him wide, trying to force him into a mistake, but all credit to Jonasson, he hangs tough and he hangs on to second place. Good Speedway.
Well, Niels Christian Iversen moving on to 6 points. That is a huge boost for him.
Good ride.
Yep, very much so. Making that inside gate count. And the man off the inside here in heat number 10 is Greg Hancock. Can he make it count here? He's on 4 points so far, and he's got the preferable inside gate. Jepsen Jensen is alongside him, so you would expect Greg Hancock to be the clear favourite for this heat off the inside gate, with Jepsen Jensen off 2, Batchelor off 3, and Doyle off the outside.
Yeah, you would think so. Greg bounced back really nicely last time with an impressive win. Doyle's up against it, isn't he? He's been excluded in the previous ride, and now all of a sudden he finds himself on the graveyard of gate 4, so he's going to have to come up with something pretty special. Batchelor's been pretty quick and pretty competitive so far this evening, but Hancock, the world champion, he's in the ideal spot.
Yep, here we go, heat number 10. That man is Michael Jepsen Jensen with a couple of points to his name. Former World Under-21 champion, real talent. Here we go, heat number 10. Batchelor had a little nibble at the start there. Doyle almost went, but Hancock has made the start beautifully, as we predicted. And now Michael Jepsen Jensen has got a lot of speed in second. He's in blue, but Hancock you would expect to control the race. But Jepsen Jensen is still having a go here, putting pressure on him. Third is Batchelor, is Doyle even. Batchelor putting pressure on Doyle, but Hancock looking good.
Yeah, Hancock out in front. Have to keep going though, isn't he, because Jepsen Jensen's queuing up behind him. Doyle got himself into third place with a chop back to the inside. He did actually clip Batchelor with his front wheel, but he managed to stay on board. Hancock now beginning to ride nicely, covering the moves of Jepsen Jensen. Batchelor coming on hard, trying to force Doyle into a mistake. Doyle needs this point. Got excluded last time. The world champion out in front, looking good.
Yeah, the reigning world champion under serious pressure from Michael Jepsen Jensen. But Hancock has done enough, and he looks over his left shoulder. Just for a moment, maybe a little cause for concern. But if one man can dictate a race, it is Greg Hancock with all that experience under his belt. And that's a big win as he moves on to 7 points. And the Millennium Stadium crowd are delighted with that.
They are, but I tell you what, that was too close for comfort for me. Coming out of the last corner, Greg allowed the bike to run wide, and Jepsen Jensen was right there. He wasn't very far away. Hancock riding nicely, but just sense he needs a little bit more speed, a little bit more grip, give himself a bit more breathing space when it comes towards the checkered flag. Competitive racing in heat number 10.
Certainly was. It's a win for Hancock with Jepsen Jensen second, Doyle third, and Batchelor on that occasion at the back. So it does mean now that Greg Hancock has taken the lead in the Grand Prix after 10 heats. 7 points from 3 rides, 2 race wins, immaculate. From the inside gate, it worked a treat for him, as we expected, Kelvin.
Yeah, he made no mistake. I just sense he hasn't quite got the speed. I think he went out on another bike here. Looking at the bike, it's very clean. Makes a great start. Good ride from Doyle to get himself into third place with that switch to the inside. He actually clips the back of Batchelor there because he's made the decision very early to go to the inside. Jepsen Jensen is very competitive in second place, keeping the world champion right up to his work, right to the checkered flag. I do think that Greg possibly thought he was more comfortable than he was. Late in the race, runs very wide here, and Jepsen Jensen isn't very far away. Nonetheless, the points are in the bag. I think if Jepsen Jensen hadn't have lifted there, that would have been a lot closer. But Greg, onto 7 points. He'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, Greg just looked over his shoulder just a for a quick moment going down to the finish line, didn't he? As though he was just a little bit concerned, thinking, hang on a minute, you're too close here.
Well, he possibly just saw him in his peripheral vision coming out of the last corner, and I do believe if Jensen hadn't have lifted, it would have been closer, but it wasn't, and he'll be pleased with back-to-back wins.
And just tell us again, Kelvin, for the benefit of our British viewers, you rode here on Thursday afternoon. Quite an experience riding this Millennium Stadium track for you.
A real treat. Quite a daunting prospect initially, but I'll tell you what, I loved it. They had to literally force me off.
So, Andreas Jonsson off the inside gate in red, with Chris Holder off 2. Christoph Kasperzak off 3, has struggled really. And Peter Killerman on 5 points, but he's got the outside, and this is a test of what Killerman can do now in yellow.
Well, he's a rider that is quite capable of charging through the traffic, and he needs to here. Jonsson on the inside is under huge pressure. He hasn't scored. Needs to take that inside gate.
Heat number 11, and Jonsson has not made it from the inside. Holder has the lead now in the blue helmet colour. This would put him on to 7, and Holder really is revelling in the conditions here. Now charging hard. Killerman has come through into second place, and Jonsson is quite clearly lacking speed and confidence tonight, as is Christoph Kasperzak, who's at the back again. But watch Holder go, and Killerman is loving it as Jonsson loses it.
Very nearly ran in the side of the fence. Holder's looking good out in front. Good ride from him. Bike really dug in well off the gate 2, got the better of Jonsson, who, as you rightly say, doesn't quite have the speed here this evening. Kilderman riding hard in second place, but Holder, I tell you what, Holder's got speed in that bike. That bike's really running nicely. A former winner here, riding like one.
Yeah, Holder, who has been in good form of late, had a sickness bug in the week, but back on form now, looking over his shoulder and absolutely flying here. And Chris Holder, who rides for the Pool Pirates in the UK, goes over the line on one wheel. He's delighted with that. He is quite clearly loving riding on this Cardiff track tonight. And why not two? And a good ride from Killerman to come through into second as well.
Yeah, well, what a night Holder's having. He had 2 solid second places prior to that. Comes up with a really good ride. Coming out of gate 2, that was a really good effort. Punches the air. Quite an animated celebration lap there from Chris Holder, who has been struggling with injuries over the last 2 seasons, but that was more like it from Chris. He really looked very impressive and had plenty of speed in the bike.
Yep, it's Holder, Killerman, Jonsson and Kasperzak. 1 point for Kasperzak so far. Who would have thought that? And now Chris Holder rockets up to 7 points, level with Peter Killerman and with Greg Hancock as well. And that is a great return from Chris Holder, and he did all the hard work. Even though Jonsson had the advantageous gate 1, Holder made it look easy there.
Yeah, he did, and once he got away, he showed a clean pair of heels, kicking off the fence down the back straight. Peter Kilderman coming through into second place, getting the better of Andreas Jonsson, who's only got 1 point. 1 point out of 3 rides. Not a good meeting so far for the Swedish rider. Lifting coming out of the corner there is spectacular, but unfortunately for AJ, kills his speed. Kasperzak, yeah, desperate. Really isn't on the pace at all. But super stuff from Chris Holder. You just sense he's really enjoying it out there. Track conditions will suit him. No bumps, no ruts. And a really good rider. Look at that. 2 inside gates to come. Looking good for Holder.
Yeah, that's a real boost for him, isn't it? Can he take advantage of that?
Oh, look at this lineup, Nige.
Yeah, what a lineup it is. Woofenen going off the inside gate here. Harris, Cook, so we've got 3 British riders up against Matti Zagar, who is off the outside gate, so could be fun and games here.
Could well be. Woofenden, of course. What a reception for the British riders. All credit to the audience here. They really do get behind the boys, and I'm sure they really do appreciate it. But Woofenden on the inside will be a threat.
Harris off 2, Cook off 3, and Zagar off the outside then. Zagar with 5 points to his name. Got a lovely style for this type of track. It is really smooth. Can't recall seeing one unpredictable moment so far where a rider has hit a rut or anything like that. It has been absolutely smooth.
Yeah, it really is behaving itself, and all credit to the team to put it in. They've got the cake right this time, haven't they? They really have. The racing has been superb. Woofenden settling down. 3 Brits here. Can they get one over on Zagar?
Here we go, heat number 12. Hancock's made a good one there. Well, Woofenden has made a good one from the inside gate in red. And Woofenden has a lead. Cook has come through.
Corner.
And now here comes Matty Zagar in yellow. So Zagar now, can he get second spot?
Yeah.
He's got the speed to go round Craig Cook now, and Zagar holds second. Craig Cook is third, and Chris Harris is trailing at the back and has got a lack of speed here. But Woofenden looking superb.
Superb away from the inside, no surprise there. Zagar's riding nicely in second place. Cook rode a nice first corner initially to get second place, but Zagar was able to pounce and get that off of him. Disappointment for Harris out the back, but look at Zagar. Zagar coming on strong, Woofenden round the inside. It's just over a lap to go. Zagar's fast, winding it on. Here we go, 1 lap to go. This is going to get tight.
Zagar's got loads of speed. He's going to have one big dive up to turns 3 and 4, but Woofenden has done enough. 2 wins on the trot for Ty Woofenden, who extends his lead in the World Championship once again. Woofenden leads the World Championship now by 8 points after 3 rides tonight, and this Cardiff crowd absolutely delighted. Woofenden well and truly up for this tonight.
Brilliant ride from Ty Woofenden, the championship leader. Really is enjoying himself. A disappointing opening ride, but he's come back with 2 very strong rides. He's had the inside gate, really has utilised that to full effect. Woofenden looking good.
Yep, 2 wins on the trot. It's Woofenden, Zagar, Cook and Harris. And now overall tonight, this is how it looks. It's Hancock, Zagar, Kilderman and Calder on 7. Woofenden is on 6, and his nearest rival for the World Championship, Nicky Pedersen, is on 5. So Woofenden leads the World Championship by 8 points.
Pete Adams in there, of course, mentors Ty on these big occasions, and the team are working well. I think he will be looking for a little bit more speed, because Zagar comes on very strong late in the race. Super start from him. Good first corner initially from Cook to get the better of Harris, but that inside gate is still working well. Woofenden rides the inside, commits to the inside throughout the 4 laps. Good move initially from Cook, but Zagar coming swooping around the outside generates more and more speed. Look how much speed he was carrying there. Maybe a touch too much, but got to say the Slovenian is really solid tonight. Great to see that. What scenes they are, what fabulous scenes they are, and Woofenden delighting the home crowd once again with 2 race wins to his name and gets the better of the Brits. But Ty, very relaxed, super fit, loving his Speedway this year.
Yeah, look how relaxed he looks. It really is amazing how chilled out he is. And the World Championship standings making interesting reading now, because it does mean that Woofenden is on 46 and Nicky Pedersen is on 39, so 7 points the difference in the World Championship race in favour of Woofenden. He's extended his gap by a point, so there will be some some interesting action over the next 8 heats. Heat 13 coming up next, and a lot of people have been talking about this. It's Pedersen and Hancock coming up, and Greg Hancock is with our man Steve Brandon.
Greg Hancock, the meeting's going well after a sort of slow start.
Yeah, that's right. The first heat there, we had her a little bit over-geared, I think, and didn't quite have enough speed, but made some adjustments, and now we're back in the game again.
Same bike, just a little tweak.
Yeah, exactly, just small tweaks, and try to stay with it now.
And for you, the track tonight, it looks raceable, looks great from everyone watching.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they definitely built probably the best track ever here in Cardiff, and you can see that there's a few racing lines there. So now we got to pay attention to the moisture, because it's really starting to dry out a lot, and see what the track guys are going to do. 7
points so far, semi-final beckoning. It's about points now, isn't it, in this championship?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's points is what makes prizes in the end, so I just got to keep plugging away.
And just go back a weekend, the first ever Speedway bike at the Festival of Speed up the hill at Goodwood. How was that for you?
Oh, that was incredible. You know, it's if anybody's ever been there, they know what I'm talking about. And you've got every sporting icon from so many different motorsport disciplines there, and they're just walking around like normal people. So I fit right in there.
And a speed wobble, you told me, coming up the hill.
Oh, there was numerous speed wobbles. I think even John McGuinness said, hey, mate, you look like you got a bit of an effing speed wobble going there, bro.
Enough of the fun. Back to work. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, Greg really enjoying himself out there, and huge thumbs up from the riders and terrific entertainment here tonight in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. And Chris Holder is one man who is really thriving in the conditions. He is with Steve Brandon.
Chris Holder, 7 points and 2 of those red helmet colours to go.
Don't jinx it. No, I made some good starts early on and had some speed. I just need to hit the front, and gate 2 was nice, made a good one and had plenty of speed, so it's, it's a good thing.
And you look as comfortable on a bike as I've seen you all year.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Practice, like I said, practice was good yesterday, and I like this place. I like the atmosphere, everything about it, and there's no better feeling to be out there on the top of the podium. But long way to go, but just want to make 2 more good starts and get out in front and get some points.
Being a 2-time winner here, coming to Cardiff, does that help with your confidence, with how you feel about this place?
Oh, not really. I know the feeling, so it's can't beat it. But like I said, the bike's working good. Johnsy's got the engines going, and boys are doing a good job, and pilot's doing his thing too.
And just looking at the championship for you this year, now it's about building points, building momentum.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a long way down. I've got to make a move fast, and no better night than tonight.
Thanks, Chris.
4 Grand Prix wins to his name for Chris Holder. He knows how to win here in Cardiff and how he would really enjoy the boost for his season overall if he could win again here tonight.
That would be fabulous for Holder, there's no doubt about that. I mean, he started very solidly. Listening, obviously, the Polish boys are now having a chat with Chris, but no, it's an opportunity for him. The conditions suit him, and as I say, the bike's working well for him. So I'm sure with 2 inside gates to come, he's got a very good chance of comfortably going through to the semi-finals with a real hatful of points.
I just want to get points in all the races, and
Chris being interviewed by our colleagues from Polish television.
By the time I get on it, it'll probably be
track grading going on right now. The track has seen 12 races. Every rider has now had 3 outings here. It's all about the top 8.
It's been good to me, and
but it's interesting that Chris Holder has got the inside gate in his next 2.
Absolutely, I think it's very significant, and he'll be hoping that it remains an advantage. But the way he's dropping the clutch tonight and the way the bike is driving to the first corner, I don't think he's got too many concerns really. I think he should be able to pick up some really good points in the last couple of rides.
Well, what about the next race? It really is a sensational lineup with Matti Zagar, Greg Hancock, Peter Killerman and Nicky Pedersen, who has the outside gate. From that point of view, Nicky, I guess, has to be considered literally an outsider.
Yeah, he's on the back foot there. Zagar could well be in the prime seat there. He's looking good so far, but it is a very good lineup.
Well, Steve Brandon is down in the pits with a couple of guests who are enjoying the evening.
It's not double vision, folks. I've got Sam Lowe's and Alex Lowe's with me here from MotoGP and World Superbikes. Sam, I'll talk to you first. Just a night off from your day job, enjoying the Speedway.
Yeah, no, we're loving it. It's really nice to be here and supporting all the guys, but obviously Ty's a good friend of ours, so it's nice to see him doing a good job.
Alex, I know that a lot of people in MotoGP and World Superbikes watch Speedway. What is it about this sport that makes people sit up and take notice?
Yeah, no, it's how close you can get to the riders. Obviously, it's a totally different sport to ours. It's really exciting, and yeah, it's really good fun. He keeps saying he's going to let us come have a ride with him, so hopefully we'll get out with him soon.
I think we would send the camera that day. We also see some pictures in pre-season, you guys training with Ty, with Kurt Gibbons in Derby. They look brutal.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ty's definitely upped his game in the gym, but no, we all train together. It's hard work, but to do our job, we have to do it, and yeah, it's going good.
And you guys back to work? When are you back to work, Alex?
I go to Japan in the morning, early flight for 8-hour testing, so non-stop.
So no partying for you if Ty wins. And Sam, what have you got up next?
Well, I might have a little party if Ty wins, but I've got a race next week in Germany, so I have to calm down.
All right, thanks for your time, guys. Enjoy the rest of the meeting.
Cheers,
Super to see him here, and both those 2 boys are doing a great job in their respective classes. And of course, the World Championship leader Ty Whiffenden is riding supremely well here again, but Heat 13 is now about to get underway. Fabulous lineup. The controversy surrounding Pedersen and Greg Hancock just over a week ago was quite extreme. In actual fact, it got quite nasty, and there's no doubt there is no love lost between the 2 men, and it will be interesting to see what goes on here.
Yep, here we go then. Heat number 13 is coming up, and it is a real tasty lineup here in this Adrian Flux British FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Ding ding, round 2. I like it. They put a lot of thought into that banner, and it is a real appetising heat number 13. Throw in Peter Killerman.
Well, exactly, you just throw him into the mix, and of course he's having a great night, and As I say, he very much is looking towards the semi-finals, and he'll be desperate to get amongst the points as well. But you're right, Nige, after the track preparation, not so much grip on the outside. It will mean that Pedersen will have to come up with something a little bit special here if he wants to get amongst the big points.
Here we go, heat number 13, Matti Zagar off the inside, 7 points, Hancock 7, Killerman 7, Pedersen 5. Hancock and Pedersen, round 2. It was less than a fortnight ago that Greg Hancock performed a rugby tackle on Pedersen that wouldn't have been out of place in the Cardiff Arms Park behind turns 1 and 2 here.
Yeah, very appropriate really, isn't it, when you consider where we are, but no, it was a bit of a showdown between the two. I do hope it doesn't come to blows again. I want to see a really tough speedway race, but a fair one. Zagar on the inside is riding nicely. Hancock is winning races, but possibly looking for a touch more speed. What is Pedersen going to get up to coming from the outside? Here we go.
Yep, heat number 13 it is. And they're away first time, and Zagar has made it from gate number 1. Now Hancock switches up the inside. Now Pedersen is going to have to try and nip up the inside of Killerman. And now Pedersen!
Oh, no way!
Drama again here, heat 13. Kilderman goes down. There's boos all around the Millennium Stadium.
Pedersen's going to go. No way he could get through there. No racing room. Just charged up the inside of Peter Kilderman. Kilderman had no choice but to bail off the motorbike. Pedersen's not won any friends there at all.
Here we see it again, Kelvin.
Again, he's got the wheels in line. Peter Kilderman's clearly in front, and Pedersen keeps coming. Just takes him out. Krista Gardell, no choice but to exclude him.
Well. Now Killerman nips up the inside.
He's clearly in front. Pedersen comes in too hot. Just takes him away. He's okay. Actually, he does remarkably well to get to his feet like that. But we'll see it again. He's up the inside of him. Keeps coming. The bike straightens up. Just takes the front of the bike away. Unsettles him. And Nicky will get excluded.
Nicky Pedersen is out. Confirmation that Nicky Pedersen has been disqualified for bringing off his fellow countryman Peter Killerman. We'll have to do it again. Nicky's laughing. What is that all about? He can't believe the decision. I have to say, Kelvin, playing devil's advocate, I'm not sure there was too much contact there, if at all, but you're saying he went for the gap that wasn't there.
There was clear contact in actual fact. He rubbed up the side of his leg. There you can see when he's come down. And there wasn't enough room for him. Kilderman clearly got into third place coming out of the first turn. And unfortunately for Nicky, he charged in there where there wasn't quite enough racing room. And he just unsettled Peter Kilderman and he went down.
I'll tell you what, he's got it all on to make the semis now. He's only got 5 from 4 rides.
Clear contact, takes him down,
okay,
had to be excluded.
Yeah. Well, there was me trying to play devil's advocate, because we try and call it fair from all angles.
That angle is not the best one. The best one is the head-on. It's clear to be seen when Nicky comes up the inside. He does remarkably well to get to his feet there. All credit to him. This is the one. Well, that's side on. You can't really see it there. It's the other one where we actually are head on to it. It's quite clear.
Nicky can't believe it, but that's the way it is. It's a sarcastic laugh from Nicky Pedersen. And on a serious note, aside from all the hype surrounding a Pedersen exclusion, bottom line, Kelvin, he has got it all to do to make the semis here, because he won his opening ride.
He started well, didn't he? But he slipped in the last couple, and he's got 5 from 4 now. So all of a sudden, to make the semi-finals, he's going to have to win his last race.
He's got gate 1 though.
This is the one that is clear cut. You can quite clearly see there how hard he hits Kilderman. Kilderman has to go down. And Nicky Pedersen, unfortunately, was too impatient there, was desperate to try and get amongst the big points, and it hasn't quite happened for him.
Well, I just wonder if Nicky expected the decision the moment the red lights came on. Was he waiting for it?
Well, he had to have an instinct about it, that's for sure.
Well, let's hear what Nicky has to say now with Steve Brandon.
Nicky, I have to ask, you've just watched it, your opinion.
Well, I come from behind, you know.
I try to go as much as inside as possible. Peter come a little bit slower into the corner than I do. There's slightly little contact just when we get into the corner, but then Peter see he runs kind of out of room, and you see he puts his leg towards his bike, and then he put the bikes down. They're not trying to stay on the bike, you know. It's getting a little bit childish, this everything, you know. We're racing, we want to race hard. I know I come from behind, but it's a bit of racing, you know.
I spoke to Jason Doyle earlier. He had a very similar incident, and it's that situation in the Grand Prix. You have a gap. You have to try and make the most of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a world championship, you know. No one wants to knock anyone off, but we're racing for championship points. We got sponsors behind us and everything, you know, and we're here to win the race. We're here to score the points, but people tends to, they're acting a little bit. They're not racing anymore, you know. That's a little shame on this board, but what can we do?
And the important thing is for you, it's about building points in the championship, and that's a chance of 3, 2, 1, whatever. They're gone now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really been my way so far. I'm not happy with my speed at all today. I seem to have lots of problems, but we keep fighting, you know, and I need to try to swap bike and see if it's getting any better later.
I know it's tough, but I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, it's a great interview, but Kelvin, one thing I'd pick up on there is Nicky Pedersen saying Speedway riders are getting like some footballers and acting.
I think that's a bit disrespectful, to be perfectly honest. Peter Kilderman's one of the toughest men out there. If ever there's a racer, Peter Kilderman epitomises that, so I can't agree with him on that score. I do agree with Nicky Pedersen when he says it's the World Championship, it's tough and you want to go for everything. But unfortunately, Nicky Pedersen ran out of room, and he took Peter Kilderman's leg away and unsettled him on the entrance to the corner when there wasn't quite enough racing room. So Christer Gardell made the right decision in my view.
Well, some people would argue Killerman went down too easily there.
Yeah, but they haven't ridden a bike very many times, so I can assure you.
Yeah, but I think that's what Nicky was getting at, that Killerman went down too easily. But the bottom line is, it's World Championship Speedway.
I don't believe he would have bailed off if he didn't have to.
No. So, a little bit more controversy now, and to be fair, I have to praise Nicky for the interview he gave there, because quite clearly he could have turned us away and said, no, I'm not talking about it, but he did. Fair play to him, he fronted up.
You picked up on it, Nigel. The fact is that he's got work to do in his last ride.
Yeah. Zagar, Hancock, Killerman, line up for heat number 13 here now in the Millennium Stadium, Cardiff. And with Nicky Pedersen now disqualified, we're down to 3 riders. And Pedersen has got gate number 1 in heat 17. He has to trap and win that against Jonsson, Batchelor and Cook. You have to fancy him to do that, don't you?
Yeah, he's he's in the driving seat in his last ride, and that will give him a squeak of the semi-finals if he picks up the 3 points. We're going to focus in on this now. Zagar had made a great start initially before all the drama. Can he reproduce that now? Hancock, gate 2, will be looking for another win, that's for sure.
Here we go, heat number 13. Zagar's made a beauty off the inside gate. Now Killerman goes high and wide to try and come around the outside as Hancock holds second spot. But Killerman's got speed. Which way will he go now? He's going to try the inside switch, but Zagar leads it. Here's Hancock in second, and here comes Hancock now! Ruthless move! Zagar's back for more!
Fabulous speedway here. Now Hancock comes up the inside, but thinks better of it. Zagar now moving to the outside of the track, desperately looking for a little bit more speed. Terrific speedway action in the first lap and a half there. Kilderman in 3rd place. Zagar now beginning to settle nicely out front. Super Speedway, the world champion in 2nd place. Can he do anything about Zagar?
Yeah, good speedway in heat number 13 there. It's Matty Zagar who has the lead right now. Zagar is heading through to the semi-finals. This puts him on to 10 points now. Hancock holds 2nd spot. Peter Killerman 3rd. But Matty Zagar wins a hugely entertaining heat number 13. They were trading blows, Hancock and Zagar there. It was good speedway, great respect between the two, and a big handshake down the back straight as Killerman returns to the pits.
Well, proper speedway there, there's no question of that. Clean action, passing, beautiful textbook stuff between 2 classy riders. Zagar coming out on top. I do believe he really is in tip-top form tonight. Heat 13 goes the way of the Slovenian.
Zagar, Hancock, Killerman, and it means Zagar is now on 10 points and can start looking forward to the semi-finals here in the Millennium Stadium tonight. Zagar leads on 10, Hancock's on 9, he's probably through, And Kilderman not far off now. He's on 8 points and looking good.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matthew Zagar, I've got to say, did really look. It's difficult in practice, but he did look very impressive yesterday, and he's now translating that into a very good performance indeed. All credit to Hancock here. He's very tenacious. He puts Zagar under a lot of pressure by snatching the lead momentarily, but all credit to the Slovenian. He is able to then repay the compliment. Great move from Hancock here. Quick thinking from Zagar, switching back to the inside, gets himself back to the front. I thought just for a moment that Hancock was then going to get back up the inside as they go down the back straight, but Hancock realises he was going to run out of room. He realises that second place there. That's when he makes the decision not to go for it, and he hangs on for second place. But actually Zagar, he's having a great night, and I've got to say that the Slovenian is really looking like a major threat.
Very much so, and Zagar on 10 points, riding quite beautifully now. Moves him on to 34 in the series. This man is in white is Andreas Johnson. Heat number 14, yet to score. Well, he's got 1 point from 3 rides.
Yeah,
so
a nightmare.
Needs to get it right. But we've got Ty Woffenden in this one in blue as well. He's on 46 Grand Prix points. Miki Pedersen's on 39. So Woffenden has a 7-point lead. Excuse me, in the World Championship. Can he build on that here? Doyle off the inside, Woffenden off 2. Johnson goes off 3, and Matsejanovski off the very, very difficult gate number 4.
And this is the second time he's had it. The draw has gone against Janovski this evening. He's going to have to come up with a miracle ride from there. Doyle will be hard charging. Woffenden's been flying. Johnson desperate for points. So Janovski, who has been in such fine form this season, really is having a hard time. Got to come up with something very special. Woffenden out of gate 2. Can he do it?
Watch out for Doyle. He's looked pretty quick tonight. Here we go. This is heat number 14. Oh, little bit of movement to the start. Red lights are on straight away. Had to happen, and it looked as though Woffenden had a nibble there.
Definitely. Woffenden was the one to move too early. Gardel puts the red light on immediately.
He's been very consistent, Krista Gardel.
Well, that's fine. If you're consistent, you see it clearly now. He moves too early, and that is the reason we've now got the bikes back at the pit gate. Johnson coming back round to have a good look where he's starting from.
All 4 riders back is the verdict from the referee, Krista Gardel. I'm quite sure that they'll have a word in Mr. Woffenden's ears and tell him to just sit tight at the start.
Well, he'll know that, won't he?
Behave himself.
He knows that he moved too early, and he'll be aware of the fact that he just needs to be a little bit more patient. Andreas Johnson's actually parked at the start line, and his 2 mechanics have come over and are working on the bike right up at the start. Slightly unusual from the Swede. Having a desperate night. I just sensed that when he won the World Cup with Sweden, I thought he may well have turned a corner, you know, and really was going to kick on from there. But this evening, he really hasn't had a very good night at all, and that's disappointing. He had a lot of new equipment for Voyens in the World Cup, and it worked well that night, but unfortunately for him here this evening, it hasn't been working to his liking. Ty Woffenden really ought to have the 2 minutes on now.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they're not.
Not quite understand why we've got such a long delay. No incident, no crash. They should really be now back at tapes, in my view.
Well, Phil Morris is sprinting across the infield, and he's coming across now. I think he's ringing the referee now. The walkie-talkie must have played up there, so he's put the 2 fingers up to the referee in a polite way to tell him 2 minutes.
Fortunately, I wonder whether he would rather the other.
Yeah.
Krista Gardel now finally putting the 2 minutes on. I don't know if Krista Gardel had wandered off there for a moment, but do believe that it was being a touch generous there with the time. And all credit to Morris for responding and making sure that this meeting keeps going. And riders now making their way towards the start. Woffenden will just have to be a little bit more patient this time.
Yeah. Johnson now being pushed off and ready for action. It is a mystery when you see a rider like AJ ride so beautifully 1 minute and then you wonder why it all goes horribly wrong the next. But anyway, Doyle off the inside has looked quick tonight. Can he make it? I think Woffenden may be jumping the start there because he knows the importance of the inside gate alongside him.
Yeah, got to agree with that because he knows how well gate 1 has been working. He's had it twice himself already this evening. Gate 2 hasn't been quite as good. I've got to say Holder made a great start from gate 2, but Johnson made a poor one off of gate 1, and that probably just gave the Australian a little bit of a nudge. Woffenden is introduced once again. Fabulous reaction from the crowd. Settling down, tension beginning to build now. We're into the real gritty part of the evening where points are really important to riders. And, you know, you just sense that the intensity just gets ramped up a little bit.
Doyle off the inside, Woofenden off 2, Jonsson goes off 3. Matsianowski is the man off the outside gate in yellow. A real opportunity for Woofenden, it has to be said here, to build up his lead even further on Pedersen in the title race. But, you know, looking at it, Zagar's going up the standings. Greg Hancock is having a good night and is putting pressure on. He's on 36 points now. Pedersen's on 39. Here we see it. Woofenden 46, Pedersen 39, Hancock 36 and Zagar 34. So a race win here for Woofenden will put him 10 clear in the World Championship. This is heat 14. He's on 6 points. He could do with a second place, really, to ease any pressure going into his last race. Here we go. They're away this time. Doyle's made a good start. Now Woofenden will calculate the move and will try the inside switch. Brilliant! That is a beauty from Ty Woofenden. That is brilliant. And Doyle nearly hits the fence. But that was a magnificent move from Ty Woofenden. He calculated it beautifully. Doyle is second. Janowski is third. And Jonsson is at the back again.
Yeah, what a move that was in the first corner from the championship leader. Textbook stuff from him. Gets the better of Jason Doyle, who's charging hard in second place. Janowski once again having to work overtime. Has come through into third place with Jonsson. Is now relegated to the back, but Woofenden's pulling away. Looking like he's going to have 3 wins on the spin. The championship leader's going to go 10 points clear. What a night for Ty Woofenden so far.
Yep, now Jonsson tries the inside move for third place. Janowski has been passed here, but look at the length of Woofenden's lead here. And the Millennium Stadium crowd celebrate 3 straight wins. Ty Woofenden has just pulled off a wonderful move to switch up the inside of Doyle. I could see the moment he didn't quite get there ahead. I knew he'd make that calculated move. That's what he's made of. And Ty Woofenden of Great Britain is now 10 points clear in the World Speedway Championship. And this Cardiff crowd are delighted with that.
What a ride that was. Beautiful move in the first corner, really was out of the top draw. And you've got to say that Doyle just had no answer whatsoever. And once Woofenden hit the front, by golly, he had a lot of speed. And 3 wins on the spin, 10-point lead in the championship after a disappointing opening ride. Well, that's long forgotten now.
Yep, Jonsson in third there. That was a hard-fought third place, but of course every point counts towards the World Championship. And now Woofenden 1 point behind Zagar and level with Hancock on 9 points in this British Grand Prix tonight.
Good stuff from Woofenden. Fabulous first corner. Can't wait to see it again. Doyle on the inside makes a decent effort, but Woofenden makes the decision to chop to the inside immediately. Not a lot of racing room. Look at this. Front wheel over the white line. Beautiful move. Sweet as you like as it goes down the back straight. Once again, into the first corner. Switches to the inside. Wheels in line. Bike drives really nicely off the corner. Doyle a little bit out of shape. Desperately trying to get back to the front, but he has no answers. This is why he's world champion, or leading the world championship, rather. Doyle there off the fence. God, it's tough out there. Woofenden clears off out in front. Doyle hanging on. Look at the Union Jacks. Fabulous scenes.
Yeah, he knows he's having a good night now. He's recovered after that first race, last place. Yeah. Relaxed as ever. And
didn't panic,
pointing towards Great Ormond Street Hospital Children's Charity, £100,000 target. Not far off either. And he's got a target to be world champion as well.
Great night so far. Craig Cook up again here. And Thomas H. Jonathan, who's been riding hard, but Kasper Zak is an enigma. There's no question that the Polish man is a world-class rider, but at the moment seems to be lacking in confidence.
Thomas H. Jonathan off the inside in red. It's Christoph Kasperzak, gate 2 in blue. Gate 3 in white is Craig Cook of Great Britain. 5 points, has had a good night so far, and how he'd love a point or two here to give himself a chance of a semi-final spot. And Michael Jepsen Jensen is the man off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Cook, the leading scorer from these 4 in this race.
Which is quite a surprise, and it's an important race for Cook. Cook needs to now build on a solid start. If he can get at least 2 points here, give himself a good chance of a semi-final. So a big ride for Cook.
Here we go, heat number 15. Great start from Christoph Kasperzak. How on earth did he manage that? He really did. jump out of the start magnificently, and Jonasson is second, and now here comes Jepsen Jensen up the inside of Craig Cook into third. But Christoph Kasperzak has the lead. He's had a miserable night, but he's got the advantage now over Jonasson and Jepsen Jensen.
Yeah, great start from Kasperzak. That's more like it from him. Really should be seeing more from him, but nonetheless, he's out in front, looking a lot better, and if he can hang on to a race win, then that will really boost his confidence. Cook has got relegated to the back, looking around. I just sense he's a bit nervous. He really almost allowed Jepsen Jensen through. Jepsen Jensen's coming on strong in third. Thomas H. Jonasson coming on strong in second. A lap to go. Really is very tight out in front.
Yep, Jonasson's having a real go!
And a back straight.
Holds the line. I thought that was going to end in tears. And Jepsen Jensen up the inside to the line. Good speedway. Kasperzak from Jonasson, from Jepsen Jensen, and Cook, sadly, from a British point of view, out of contention on that occasion. But that was a good speedway race, and Kasperzak did all the hard work from the start. But look at this for a clever move from Jepsen Jensen.
Very nearly snatches second place, doesn't he? And on the run to the line, Thomas H. Jonasson just hangs on to second place. But Christoph Kasperzak, you just never know quite what you're going to get, do you? It's been awful so far this evening. Heat 15 is his.
Yeah, it's a fantastic start from Kasperzak. Jonasson finished in second place there. Jepsen Jensen was third. And unfortunately, Craig Cook on that occasion trailed in at the back, but it was a good speedway race. Zagar leads now on 10. You got Wolfenden and Hancock on 9, and look at the battle for the top 8.
Really tight.
Well and truly on.
Really tight. Christoph Kasperzak, who got dropped by the Polish team for the World Cup. That's how poor his form has been. He's actually been in and out of his league side in Poland as well. Really has been out of form this season, but this is more like it from him. He makes a good effort from gate 2 and gets himself to the front. We see it again. The bike really did leap out of the gate, and that's such a super feeling. Thomas H. Jonasson rides really nicely in second place. He's back from injury and looks like he's beginning to find some good form. Pushing ever so hard. It got very close here, didn't it? Really tight down the back straight. Jepsen Jensen also coming into it late on in the race. Good speedway, really good speedway, but Kasperzak needs to build on that. That's a confidence-boosting ride for him.
Very much so. Terrific ride from Kasperzak, and what a move from Jepsen Jensen. Didn't quite pull it off at the end, but
very close. But
good effort.
Kasperzak, as I say, world number 2, really has been out of form, but he needs to now reflect on that. He needs to try and get his mind clear, and it's 3 points, and try and pick up another win if he can.
He's a terrific rider as well.
Oh yeah, quality.
On his day, we know he is. And here we go, heat number 16. After this race, every rider will have completed 4 outings. And it's Chris Holder off the inside gate. How he'd love to make that counter move into double figures. Niels Christian Iversen off 2. Chris Harris has had a terrible night, it has to be said. 2 points for him. He's a much better rider than that. And Troy Batchelor going off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, disappointing for Harris. Came into the meeting on the back of 3 very strong performances in the recent days. So, yeah, it's a little bit, he'll be head-scratching there in the pits. Holder's the main man here. He's been in good form, and he's in the inside gate.
Here we go, heat number 16. Can Holder get there? Yes, he can. First turn, he's well clear already. He's making it look easy, and look at this from Batchelor at the back now, coming through, charging into second. Now Harris goes over the white line with the front wheel. He's going to try and hold second place. What a battle, 3 abreast almost, and Batchelor goes down.
Well, it was 3 abreast there. He just ran out of room. Interesting to see it again. No malice in that. He just got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Holder out in front was looking good. Real good action behind him with Harris, Iversen and Batchelor really going for it.
It's a nasty landing for Batchelor there.
Yeah,
you know?
High speed, really did go in there very hard on the outside. We see it here, 3 abreast. Harris there on the outside, and Batchelor just runs out of racing room. I fear that he will go here, unfortunately. Almost an innocent victim. Let's have a look here. Harris just lifting. Iversen's up the inside of Harris. Harris desperately trying to close the door. Yeah, he's just caught there wide. There was a little bit of contact as well, but I just wonder whether Gardell will exclude Batchelor for that. Yeah, he has.
Yep, he's gone.
He has.
Yep.
Batchelor's the one to go, and that's a little bit hard on the Australian there. He just found himself in a very awkward spot, and he fell very awkwardly as well.
Yeah, an awkward fall. Swindon don't need any more injury problems, do they, after the problems they've had this year?
Certainly do not, and there's
He's
plenty
gonna
of
be okay.
attention. You just saw the way he rolled, and such high speed. They were totally committed as they started the second lap. And as I say, he was the one caught on the outside. Alan Rossiter over there, of course, he is the team manager for the Swindon Robins, who Troy Batchelor rides for, and he'll be concerned.
Well, fingers crossed for Troy Batchelor.
Yeah,
it was
exactly that. Fingers crossed.
the way
I do
he
hope
hit
he's
the air
okay.
fence. Yeah, it was a nasty one, wasn't it? The impact into the air fence was awkward. Fingers crossed. We're just waiting further information on Troy Batchelor.
Good meeting, really is a good meeting. We've seen some super speedway, and it's building up very nicely indeed.
Yep, well, fingers crossed Troy Batchelor's going to be okay, and we'll be back on with a rerun of Heat 16 very shortly. Fingers crossed Troy's going to be okay, because it really was an awkward-looking fall there. And it remains to be seen now, with 3 remaining riders, Chris Holder, Niels Christian Everson and Chris Harris, what will come of the restart.
Well, it's been a frantic night, hasn't it? There hasn't been too many stops and starts. A couple of restarts for riders being impatient on the start line, but fear for Batchelor there. That's an awkward one.
Well, let's hear from Greg Hancock now while we've got this little gap, and here is Steve Brandon.
Greg, I might have expected on the 4th of July, the first ever time a Grand Prix has been on Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's I got to thank KW Racing Products for this. They again, they've come up with a great design. This is all theirs, and you know, it's a big tribute to our late friend Darren Bucock. This night, you know, both myself and Ty Wolfenden have done something. It's a tribute to that. As you can see, the man's right here.
Ty, you're making a habit of photobombing interviews tonight. What's going on?
Just having a bit of fun.
Thanks, Ty. But Greg, seriously for you, are you scratching your head a little bit for setup tonight?
Oh, you know, the first heat I was. That one there wasn't too bad, but you know, we're making waves, and you just keep plugging away. It's not an easy run, but you know, that's the name of the game.
It looks like a track you can trust and attack on.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's one of them things that the track is changing quickly. It's drying out a lot, and we're watching the way they're watering, as I said before. But you know, you can see the racing line is moving back to the inside a little now.
A long way to go, a lot of points to get, but 1 foot in the semi-final draw.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking forward to that, and just keep plugging away, man.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, very relaxed. Joe Wolfenden seems to be everybody's best friend in there, doesn't he? And he's enjoying some. Got to say that
this is very much a precaution, Kelvin. The information we're getting is that this is a precautionary procedure where Troy Batchelor is concerned. We are told that he's conscious, but obviously it was a real awful tumble that he took. The way he just went into the fence, that's the big concern, isn't it?
Yeah, he didn't have any chance to actually kill his speed at all. He was really flying hard as they go into that first corner for the second time. High speed incident, got caught on the outside, and yeah, he got off, and it was uncomfortable when we saw the replays. He really was like a rag doll, wasn't he, when he was tumbling down the track. So fingers crossed that he isn't too seriously hurt, and fully understand why they're taking every precaution.
Yeah, there's a spinal board there, isn't there? And you know, again, we just hope that that's nothing more than precautionary.
Mark Lemon's there as well, the Australian team manager, Phil Morris, Tony Briggs as well, the floor manager, he's in there. Pete Kenyon, of course, is the doctor on hand. He's a man that's been around an awful long time. He's been and seen it and done it. He's the resident doctor, of course, for the Coventry Bees, and has seen an awful lot of speedway in his time. Very experienced man.
Peter Kenyon looked after you a few times, Kelv?
Absolutely. In my time at Coventry, he was terrific and really does have an affinity with the sport. So always pleased to see Peter when he's about. He knows how to handle speedway riders.
Let's head down to Steve Brandon. What you got for us, Steve?
Yes, Nigel and Kelvin, thanks. You can see Chris Holder there, thumbs up, just waiting for the rerun. He looked pretty comfortable in the start of that one, and then if you go looking next door to Greg Hancock, Greg's just sat himself down, talking to the team. So he's there, and that Andreas Jonsson in the background over behind Chris, he's sort of scratching his head for setup. We've seen Ty Wolfenden tonight. There's Greg, nice and relaxed as you'd expect. I think he is still struggling a little bit to get exactly the right setup he wants. Ty Wolfenden's still running up and down the pit lane. He's not here at the minute, but he's off probably photobombing something else. And if we If we come along a little bit further, we can see Peter Kilderman, his first Grand Prix of the year. Kelvin, we've talked about this, but you think, and I think, he has an earnest, honest chance of making the top 8 this year with 9 rounds.
Well, as long as he does 9 rounds, I will agree with that, Steve. I think Peter Kilderman is a rider that has the speed and the qualities to do that. But we yet to remain to be seen whether Hampel can make some sort of comeback this year. But
yeah,
if he can do 9 rounds, then he would have a chance.
I think he's got a great chance. He's also got the experience of Jakob Olsen in his camp, and I know Jarek has said that he'd like to make a comeback this year, but I'm not sure how possible that is.
Well, we'll have to wait and see,
We'll finish off here
won't
with Niels Christian Iversen. He's just getting himself ready for the rerun of that, and he will look at a real second chance this time because he was in the 3-man beat up there. An up and down night for Niels. I think he's going to be really trying to get 3 points out of this one, but back up to you guys. Enjoy it.
Yeah, heat number 16 coming up then, 3 riders only. Niels Christian Iversen getting himself ready. Troy Batchelor has got into the ambulance here. And that suggests that he's going to be okay, and that this is just a precaution, Kelvin, and that's good news.
I hope so, because they did take their time there to get him off the track, so quite clearly there was some concern about his condition, and that was a shame for Troy, because, as I say, he just found himself in an awkward spot. But the ambulance now will take him away, and we won't be too far away there. Just got squeezed up, unsettled, and there, I think, he's obviously got caught up with the bike as well. This will be a good view of it. Just gets clipped. Oh, he goes out of shot. It's unfortunate. Just gets clipped there, unsettled, really going very quick indeed. Bike goes down. Now, let's see if we can see any reason why he just falls really, just like a rag doll, and quite clearly, I think he'll be okay, but it's just he's just fallen awkwardly. Actually, even though he's hit the air fence there, that's just a really nasty looking crash.
Yeah, he may have jarred his neck or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's why they've just put him on the spinal board, just to be absolutely sure. But the ambulance isn't going really slow, and I think really in a situation of a critical back problem, then that ambulance would be going at a snail's pace. So I'm no medical expert, has to be said. But anyway, the 2 minutes is on now. And we're about to get underway. As Holder comes out, he is raring to go, isn't he? Try and stop me.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself. And I'm pleased to see it because, you know, he had to pull out of the meeting at Kings Lynn in the Elite League on Wednesday, where he was violently ill just before the meeting began, and that was a shame. Paul did remarkably well, even without him, but got to say, he's quite clearly very healthy here tonight because he's riding very well. And he's got the opportunity to finish with 2 inside gates and get a whole hatful of points, because Chris has started the season in the Grand Prix poorly. He's well outside the top 8. This is an opportunity for him to really gather some vital World Championship points to push towards the top 8.
Yep, so heat number 16, and after this race, every rider will have completed 4 rides, and then it's down to 4 more heats to decide the semi-finalists here in Cardiff tonight. So heat 16, can Holder make it to that first turn? A big win here will put him on to 10 points.
And what's going on with, sorry Nige, what's going on with Harris? Harris is a rider that you have to believe would be really on it tonight, but hasn't got the speed, and for whatever reason is finding points very difficult to come by.
Heat number 16 it is. Chris Holder going off the inside with Niels Christian Iversen off 2. Chris Harris goes off gate number 3 in white. And no rider off the outside. Troy Batchelor excluded. And incidentally, he's due out in the next one. That's unlikely. And it could well mean that we're going to see Jason Garrity in for heat number 17. What a dream moment that will be for Garrity. But heat 16 is first up now. Can Holder seal his place in the semi-final? The win for Iversen would put him on 9.
Well, that would get him there as well, wouldn't it? So yeah, an opportunity for both the riders on the inside, and really and truly just a bit of glory for Harris if he could win a race here, but he hasn't really had the speed to get to the front so far this evening.
Here we go. Who's going to get into that first turn? Holder again, dominant from the start. That was a beauty. Chris Holder has the lead now with Niels Christian Iversen holding second spot. Harris is looking better here, trying to close the gap, and now Iversen's trying the inside run on Holder, but Holder's got the drive, but Iversen isn't giving up. He's going to really give it what for every step of the way, and this would put Iversen on 8, and he would almost be in the semi-finals.
Yeah, Iversen's got quite a lot of speed in second place. Holder again uses the inside gate, got away from there, but I've got to say Niels Christian Iversen looks pretty threatening in second place. He isn't being dropped by Holder. Harris is. He's been tailed off now in third place. Holder riding a more defensive line now, having to squeeze Iversen up. Iversen coming on though. Iversen is right there.
Yep, he is. He's having a go of the day. Niels Christian Iversen is not allowing Chris Holder to relax. Iversen just looks and tries the outside run now, but that's not going to work. Holder has done enough. Down to the line he goes. Just a quick look over his shoulder, and he's done enough. And Chris Holder will now be in the semi-finals of the Adrian Flux British FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Now he's on double figures. He is loving this place. His Cardiff love affair continues. Look what it means to him.
Oh, brilliant to see. He's been down in the dumps and really struggling with injury for 2 years. He's had some really almost career-threatening injuries. And this is the best I've seen Chris Holder ride at this level for some time. And all credit to him after a difficult start to this year's campaign. He's riding very well here tonight. Could be a major threat for honours here.
2 straight wins for Holder now. Iversen was second, Harris was third. That means now that after 16 heats, this is how it looks. It's Zagar and Holder on 10, and the battle for 8th place. Well, Nicky Pedersen can secure a semi-final spot with a win in the next one. He's off gate 1.
Yeah, nice ride there, Nige, wasn't it? And Peter Johns is engine tuner in there. He's doing a good job. And this is why he wins. He's got the inside gate. He comes under pressure from Niels Christian Iversen, but all credit to Holder. He dictates terms around that inside in the first corner. Again from the start, bike digs in and drives nicely to the first corner. Harris there hung on the outside. Hasn't got enough pace tonight, Harris, and has got tailed off in third place. Look at that there from Holder. That's confidence for you. You know, he uses that as a way to fire the bike forward. That's on purpose. That's not a misjudgment. He's going for that, punching the air. Animated emotion there from Chris Holder. And all credit to him. He's looking good with another inside gate to come.
Yeah, he really does love this track. It's well suited to him. He knows the winning formula here in Cardiff. And he's got 2 straight wins to move on to 10 points now. Bit of track grading, and then we will be on with the last 4 heats before the semi-final picks. And you've got to fancy Nicky Pedersen for the next one, Kelvin. He's off the inside gate. Yeah, he's going to have Andreas Jonsson alongside him, Cook off the outside, and probably Jason Garrity in the same race.
Yeah, you've got to fancy Nicky. He's a rider that probably should win the race. Jonsson might surprise him, but on the evidence of his racing so far, he hasn't been at the races this evening, the Swedish rider. But Nicky Pedersen hasn't had the sort of night he would have wanted, though. He's been in good form this year, Nicky Pedersen, but he said in the interview with Steve Brandon that he was concerned about his bikes. He hadn't quite got the setup right, hadn't got the speed he needed. Bikes are so finicky now. If you haven't quite got it nailed on, the bike is much more difficult to ride, and you're just lacking that bit of speed you require.
Well, of course, we know it can go to countback for a semi-final place, and a win for Pedersen in the next one will give him 2 race wins as well, Kelvin, and that could be absolutely vital. And we are being told Troy Batchelor has pulled out of the meeting.
No real surprise in that.
No surprise, no.
No. Well, let's just keep our fingers crossed that he's okay.
Yeah, Janowski, who's had a tough night tonight, Kelvin. He's had 3 last places, Maciej Janowski, and that's a bit of a surprise because a lot of people were expecting him to do well tonight.
I for one thought he might make the final tonight. He's been in sparkling form where he's been riding and had a great Grand Prix in Prague, of course, 6 weeks ago. So rode pretty well for Poland in the World Cup. And so whatever it is, the bike set up, the draw certainly has gone against him with 2 gate 4s. It just hasn't been his evening, has it? So no, he'll have to regroup and come back stronger in Riga. Oh, Daugavpils, excuse me, in Latvia.
But that's significant as well, because we talk about the draw, and the higher up you finish in the top 8, the better chance you have with the draw for gate positions.
Absolutely, yeah, it's very significant, so there's always something to race for. Should never throw the towel in, and I'm sure he will be very keen to try and get some big points in heat 20, but again, he's got gate 3, which won't help him. Garrity there, as you rightly say, is now coming out. What an experience this. What a moment this is for the youngster. He's been riding well. He's riding both Elite League and Premier League, and he's looking very good.
Well, yep. Let's hear from Chris Holder now with Steve Brandon.
Chris, in golfing terms, they would say that you were the joint clubhouse leader, but aside from that, it's going very well.
I won a golf game the other week too. No, it's going good. I'm making good starts now, and that race I didn't really have much speed, and Everson was really pushing us, but I was trying to cover the line to not let him through, but feels pretty good. Make some more changes and have gate 1 again to try and make another good one.
I know you guys spend all the year trying to beat each other up. You've just been over and seen Troy. How is he? What's an update?
Yeah, he's pretty sore between he's on his back between his shoulder blades. He wasn't a bad crash, but he really got twisted up in the fence and probably tweaked it a little bit. So fingers crossed, it's all good, and you know, he'll be sweet.
But for you tonight, back to the serious stuff, you put yourself in a great position for the sharp end of the meeting.
Yeah, it's going good. Like I said, I've had a lot of speed all night, and even that race wasn't so great, but got the 3 points. But feel pretty good, so see what happens.
And it's going to be important to have one of the first 2 picks in the semi-finals.
Yeah, gate 1 and 2 are pretty nice, but indoor ones, it all changes. Anyone can sort of pop out from anywhere, and just give myself the best chance off the inside, hopefully, and get a win.
Thanks for your time.
Sweet.
Yeah, looking good. And here we see Nicky Pedersen ready for action. He's had to wait a while since his seat 13 exclusion. And Jason Garrity comes out here. Now, what a moment as we hear from Ty Woofenden now.
Ty, I know tonight's about Speedway for you, but it's also about the charity, and we've just seen a message on the screens. Your message to people?
My message is for everybody to please get their phones out, text WOFF60 to 770 and the amount you want to donate. It means so much to me, so much to the kids at Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Yeah, good work from Ty, and well done to all involved in the bike ride yesterday as well here. The competition winners who supported Ty. And here we go. It's a big moment for Jason Garrity, the youngster in the white helmet colour who rides for the Coventry Bees and the Sheffield Tigers. He's in as a reserve. He comes off gate number 3 in place of Troy Batchelor here. Heat 17 as Nicky Pedersen off the inside gate will search for the victory off the preferred inside gate and a win here, and I'm sure he'll be into the semi-finals. So heat number 17 is coming up. Here we go with heat 17. Nicky Pedersen goes off the inside in red, a win, and surely that'll do him for the semi-finals. Andreas Jonsson, gate 2 in blue. Miserable night so far. What a moment for young Jason Garrity going off gate number 3 in white, the man who rides for the Coventry Bees in the Elite League, the Sheffield Tigers in the Premier League, and Craig Cook going off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, Cook's just faded away a little bit. I sense in the last ride in particular he looked a little nervous, looking around and almost allowed riders by, but Pedersen's the one here. He's got the credentials. He's got to come up with a big ride.
Certainly has. Here we go. Heat 17. Oh dear.
Jonsson got fooled there. I just wonder whether Pedersen, if he didn't touch the tapes, then he has suckered Andreas Jonsson to drive through the tapes. Jonsson quite possible. Oh, it's unfortunate.
Well. And this is a perfect... well, Garrity was moving. He was a bag of nerves, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Jonsson touches the tapes with the front tyre, so they have to be excluded.
Oh, dear.
So it's unfortunate on the Swede. His night's just got worse. Nicky Pedersen moved initially, and that pulls Jonsson in. Front tyre did touch the tapes.
He's looking worried.
Well,
as he looks
rightly so. Pedersen was nervous on the start there. He was rolling a little bit, and the movement from Pedersen created the problem for Jonsson, who then was ready to go, and I believe that the front tyre did touch the tapes. It does, so he has to go. It's unfortunate for Jonsson.
Yeah, it's going to be tough on Jonsson, this.
Very, very tough. He moves after Nicky moves.
The blue light is on.
Yeah, it's really hard, but Nicky moved and that suckered him in, and that's a dreadful feeling.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. You have to feel for Andreas Johnson. He leaves the Millennium Stadium
What a
tonight
disappointing
with only
night.
2 points to his name.
What a disappointing night for the World Cup winner. Really was on cloud 9 just a week or two ago when the World Cup victory really was a super effort. And tonight just hasn't been very good at all. Pedersen is a very fortunate man here because he was clearly the first one to move. He just misses the tapes, and then that really is the catalyst for then Johnson to fire himself forward, and he quite clearly touched the tapes.
Confirmation, Robert Lambert comes in.
Brilliant.
In blue, we have both reserves in heat number 17, Jason Garrity and Robert Lambert.
Well, this is quite a treat because Lambert has been quite a star this year. He rode for the Great Britain team, of course, in the World Cup and did remarkably well. Comes in as a track reserve, and this is a great opportunity for him to come out of gate 2 and try and do something.
Here he is, Robert Lambert.
Wasn't
a huge
expecting
moment.
this. But
it's a long run down there.
Yeah, but he's 17. He can do that 2 or 3 times and still not be blowing. So
even with a steel shoe on.
Absolutely. So an exciting moment for Robert Lambert, 17 years of age. Your bike's up there, son. No,
Wow.
Here we go, just at the fuel station. Dad alongside him. Great moment this for Robert. Really, really has made his mark in Speedway this year.
What will he be feeling now? Because we saw Garrity was a bag of nerves there. He couldn't sit still at the start line.
No, well, he'll be nervous, of course. He's going to get a great reception, this man, I'll tell you. Really is quite a sensation. And,
wow.
Great reception for him coming out. He's 17. He is the a rider with a huge potential.
Robert Lambert, Jason Garrity and Craig Cook all in the same heat in the British Grand Prix at Cardiff. Well, well, well. We wish Troy Batchelor well, of course, and we commiserate with Andreas Johnson for touching the tapes there. Pedersen moved, Johnson moved, Garrity moved, and now here we go with heat 17 and a huge moment in the career of Jason Garrity in white and Robert Lambert, the 17-year-old who rides in blue.
Yeah, well, Robert, of course, is getting used to riding in World Championship events now, having been part of the World Cup team. First ride in a Grand Prix, of course, but what a moment for him. What a moment it would be if he could get the better of a three-time world champion in gate number 1. Wow.
Yeah, Nicky Pedersen, clear favourite off the inside gate here.
Indeed.
Robert Lambert goes off gate number 2 in blue. Jason Garrity, gate 3 in white. And Craig Cook going off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Really, you can't see any further than Nicky Pedersen for this. But you never know with Robert Lambert alongside him.
Well, Robert Lambert rode spectacularly on Wednesday night where he got the better of Janowski in heat 15 in a dramatic finale there, that's for sure. So I'll write him off, but Pedersen sure will be very keen to get 3 points.
Heat 17 it is, and they're away this time, and Pedersen's made it, as you would have expected. And now around the outside comes Craig Cook. Garrity's holding second place now. And now Lambert, is there any way through? No way through for him. Cook holds the inside gate. Garrity is third, and Craig Cook is chasing hard after Nicky Pedersen, and Robert Lambert's at the back right now.
Yeah, Lambert now switching to the inside, gets the better of Garrity, who's relegated to the back. No surprise to see Pedersen out in front. Certainly he looks a little bit quicker this time. Cook's riding nicely in second place. Keep your eyes on Lambert. Lambert's going to come on strong here, no question of that, but Pedersen the favourite. No surprise to see him out in front.
Yeah, Pedersen has got the race under control comfortably, as we would have expected, really, going into the last lap, and this will put Nicky onto 8 points with 2 race wins as well. Second place is Craig Cook, third is Robert Lambert in blue, Jason Garrity at the back. Garrity's going to have a go on Lambert and takes him out. Down to the line they go, and Garrity has just charged up the inside of Robert Lambert and buried him in the fence.
Well, that was unnecessary from Garrity, really. Just overriding, a little bit of over-exuberance there. Good to see that Lambert gets back up on the bike, no damage done there, but Jason Garrity here goes Garrity, because that's just outrageous, the way he came steaming up the inside there of Lambert.
Garrity's excluded.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. Comes in at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And got to say that Robert Lambert's a touch fortunate not to be injured in that.
Well, Garrity excluded for bringing down Robert Lambert there. So it does mean that Nicky Pedersen finishes on 8 points from his 5 rides now. And Craig Cook, well, he has finished on 7. has acquitted himself very well. Lambert gets a point, Garrity excluded for bringing down Robert Lambert, and Craig Cook is currently in that 8th place right now. And I think Pedersen now can start looking forward to the semi-finals with 2 race wins under his belt.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2 race wins will be vital for him. He's not happy, I don't think. I think he still knows that he needs more speed out of the bike, and they'll be still working hard. See it again, Nicky drops the clutch. He's on that favoured inside gate. Comes into the first corner. Craig Cook looks a lot more purposeful here, that's for sure, with Garrity up the inside and a good scrap between the 2 track reserves in Garrity and Lambert. Lambert then outmanoeuvres Garrity to get the better of him up the inside. Here we're seeing it again early in the race with Lambert getting to the inside and getting the better of Lambert. Sorry, excuse me, Garrity, but then Garrity goes Garrity. Oh. That is just an outrageous move and just cleans him up. No surprise he's excluded, but Pedersen, battling hard, has given himself a lifeline with that win. Got a chance at the semis.
Craig Cook was on the pace with Pedersen for 2 laps there.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Put him under a bit of pressure as we build up to number 18.
Points. 8 points, he'll have to be patient, but 8 points might be enough.
Yeah, it should be now for Nicky Pedersen. So here we go with heat 18. Off the inside, it's Chris Holder in red. Gate number 2 in blue is Jason Doyle, who needs a win here. Matty Zagar, gate 3 in white on 10 points. And Thomas H. Jonasson off the outside in yellow. He has 6 points to his name. A race win would put him into the semi-finals, but he's off gate 4.
Well, he looked pretty impressive last time, Jonasson. He was quick. Hasn't won a race, but he has looked pretty competitive. So Thomas will be looking to try and come up with a real big ride. Gate 4, of course, is not the ideal spot to be coming from, so might need a little bit of good fortune. Holder in the inside, though. He'll want to finish his start. 13 points going into the semis, that's what he's looking for.
This is heat number 18. Take tries, can Holder get there? Yes, he can. It's a lovely start from Holder, but Jonasson's there from the outside as well. Holder now is under pressure from Jonasson down the back straight. What a move from Thomas H. Jonasson, really putting Holder under pressure. Holder goes wide and closes the door, and that allows Doyle through. Zagar's at the back, and this is good speedway again.
Brilliant speedway. Look at Thomas H. Jonasson very nearly running in the side of Jason Doyle. All credit to Holder. Holder had to be ruthless there on the opening lap to get the better of Jonasson. Jonasson there in 3rd place. Zagar now coming on strong out the back to throw a blanket over the 2nd, 3rd and 4th, because Holder's now beginning to draw clear. Zagar's out the back. I'm not sure he's going to land a blow here, but Thomas H. Jonasson really riding hard in 3rd place.
This is great to watch. Holder's got the race in the back, but the battle for 2nd. Jonasson is giving it a real go here. Chris Holder is going to go through to the semi-finals on 13 points. Chris Holder, the man of the moment in Cardiff tonight. Hugely popular in Great Britain. Rides for the Paul Pirates. And what a performance from Holder. Look what it means to him.
Brilliant ride from Chris Holder, who made a few tweaks to the bike. Comes up with an excellent ride, plenty of speed. Great racing going on behind him. Doyle and Jonasson really going at it, but got to say that Chris Holder really is coming back to top form here tonight. Really has looked really fast indeed. Only dropped 2 points so far this evening, and 13 points and a good draw for the semi-finals, giving himself a very good chance of making the final.
Put him down for the red helmet colour in the semis already. Holder, Doyle, Jonasson, Zagar, the finishing order of heat 18. That means that Holder now leads on 13 points, and he will lead the Grand Prix going into the pick for gate positions in the semi-finals. You can put him down for the red crash helmet and gate 1, I'm sure.
Yeah, you won't go far wrong with that. Off the inside and makes a good start. Thomas H. Jonasson, all credit to him, very, very nearly got there. And I thought for a moment here that Jonasson was going to get the better of Holder down the back straight, but Holder then has to move him out. Does the business. That allows Doyle up the inside, and Jonasson has a hard time there because he was threatening for the lead, and then suddenly, within a few seconds, he's relegated to 3rd place. 4 abreast coming out of the corner there. Such good racing. Riders super confident on this super surface here this evening. Look how close Jonasson gets to Doyle there. That really was breathtaking stuff down the back straight from the Swede. Great stuff from Holder out in front. Close racing for 2nd and 3rd.
By the way, I do believe we've seen a bit of speedway history tonight in heat 17, when we had 3 riders who ride in the British Premier League in a Grand Prix race. for the first time in GP history. So there you go. Well done, Chris Holder in Heat 18. Heat 19 coming up. And we've got the World Championship leader, Ty Woffenden, going in white. He will have seen Nicky Pedersen win Heat number 17. But he won't worry about it too much. He'll just focus on his own form. He tries not to worry about anybody else. He just focuses on his own form and lets everybody else get on with it.
That's the right thing to do. If you worry about other people, that only just drains you of energy. Woffenden there, comfortably in lead at the moment with a race in hand over Pedersen, of course. Could well stretch that lead at the end of this race, but won't be easy because Kasperzak on the inside came up with a much better ride last time, and he could be a surprise packet on the inside.
Number 19 coming up then here, and it is quite a lineup. Kasperzak off the inside with Hancock going off gate number 2, Ty Woffenden off 3, and Niels Christian Iversen going off the outside gate as well. It is a high quality lineup. Can Kasperzak make it? Another victory which will see him finish on 7 from 5 rides. Here we go, heat number 19, quite a lineup. And Woffenden's been left standing at the start. It's Hancock off 2. Magnificent from Greg Hancock has that lead, and here comes Woffenden round the outside, and Iversen is trying the inside line as well. Woffenden goes wide, he's going to try the inside switch, and Iversen's come through, and now Woffenden up the inside!
Brilliant move from Woffenden to get into second place. Iversen coming back at him hard down the back straight. Woffenden just about gets himself back into that second place. What a start from the world champion out of gate 2, Hancock. Brilliant stuff from him. Woffenden now coming on strong. Woffenden coming on really strong. Hancock responds. Oh, it's tight going into turn 3. So very tight indeed. Woffenden coming on again.
Here it comes again! Woffenden! Wow, what a move! Charges up the inside, and Woffenden has just passed the world champion. He's gone from last to first. The race of the night. Woofy, woofy, woofy!
What a fabulous ride that was from Ty Woffenden. He looked dead and buried there, but he didn't panic. He's so confident in his equipment. Got the better of the opposition, and what a move it was to get the better of Hancock. Hancock, for all intents and purposes, looked like he had it all sewn up. But the speed of Woffenden, the confidence of Woffenden was irresistible. This crowd absolutely on their feet. What a ride. Brilliant stuff from Ty Woffenden.
Wow, what a race that was. Oh, no wonder the crowd are ecstatic about what they've seen there.
Takes your breath away. Proper Speedway in Heat 19.
Proper Speedway, absolutely. Couldn't put it better myself. No. It was a great race. And Woffenden moves on to 12. And Woffenden can go for red in a semi-final. That's a huge win for him.
Indeed it is. And after a disappointing opening ride, he's come up now with 4 race wins. And how on earth he pulled that last one off. He must be chuffed a bit. It's no wonder he's got a beaming smile. Peter Johns, once again, he produces the engines. Misses the start completely. Hancock, fabulous out of gate 2. He's in front. Woffenden then goes to the back here. Kasperzak around the outside. Woffenden then chopping into there. He's at the back. He then comes steaming up the inside into second place. Iversen then tries to respond up the inside. Great move, clean move from Woffenden. And then you think, well, second place, yeah, that's got to be enough, surely, you know, but tell you what, that man has completely different ideas.
I thought Greg had seen him off here.
Yeah, Hancock has to slam the door shut, but Woffenden just seems to be able to extract a little bit more pace up the inside, gets the better of the world champion and fires himself to the front. A truly remarkable race. Remarkable.
He believes,
special,
doesn't he?
Very special ride.
He believes. Woffenden. Heat number 20 is coming up here now. Woffenden and Holder then are going to have first pick of gate positions in the semi-final, and that could be absolutely crucial. Now, Chris Harris has had a disappointing night, so has the man alongside him, Maciej Janowski, but Peter Killerman is going off gate number 2. He'll fancy the semi-finals tonight for sure.
Well, he will. He's had a decent night. He's been on the floor a couple of times, though. He's had a tough evening, but he's a tough fella. And I'm sure he'll be refocusing 8 points. He's just about there.
Yeah, very much so. Well, here we go. Jepsen Jensen off the inside gate. Killerman goes off 2 with Janowski off 3. And going off the outside, Chris Harris. Well, good speedway here. This is superb. Heat number 20. Here we go. Green light on. Take tries, and Killerman has not got off to the best of starts there. It's Jepsen Jensen who has the lead. Here comes Harris now in yellow. Chris Harris charging through into second place now. Killerman will try the inside line. Janowski's still in there as well. They're all in it. They're all at it. They're all having a go. And Killerman has gone to last. Now he's come through into third. Now he's battling for second. Oh! It's all happening out there.
How tight's that? Janowski now steams up the inside of Peter Kilderman. Jepsen Jensen's out in front, Janowski up the inside of Peter Kilderman. Harris really riding hard in second place, pulls a locker. Kilderman on the outside. Can he hang on to third place? Yes, he does. Jepsen Jensen's missing all the fireworks going on behind him. Kilderman and Harris coming on strong in second and third. Brilliant speedway.
Well, these are speedway riders, but they're stuntmen as well, it seems. Unbelievable here. Heat number 20, Michael Jepsen Jensen locks the inside line. Second is Harris. Oh, and Janowski and Kilderman beat each other up going over the finish line. Wow, it is absolutely grueling out there. And the riders are giving it absolutely everything.
Well, it's ramped up a notch or two now, hasn't it, people? Because look at this fight, just for a solitary point. Very difficult to split those two as they go over the line. We'll have to see that once or twice. Wouldn't fancy that at all. Harris finishes with a second place. Disappointment for him, really. He gave it everything there. You can't fault the effort, but just cannot find the setup. He'll be disappointed with his evening's work, but got to say, fabulous speedway race. And Michael Jepsen Jensen coming out on top, and the inside gate working well once again.
Kilderman has just got a point there in third place, and that is enough for him. Janowski, 4 last places. Who would have thought that before tonight as well? So 20 heats gone now. What a meeting, and the best is yet to come.
Yeah, good ride from Jepsen Jensen. Probably not what he was looking for, but he's pleased to have finished with a win. And this is why he's on the inside gate, and that works nicely for him. He's smart in the first corner. I tell you what, this was all action here. There's a big clash there between Kilderman and Harris early on. Harris really putting himself about. Touch of desperation, if anything, in the riding from Harris here. So desperate to try and get amongst the points. Crikey, alrighty, that really was action-packed. Look at this. Coming there's a contact there, nearly runs in the back of Kilderman. Really was a tough opening lap here of Speedway. Kilderman pushing hard, Harris having to work overtime just to hang on to second place. Michael Jepsen Jensen out in front, hangs on to the win, and Heat 20 comes to its conclusion with the Danish rider winning and a real scrap for third place.
Well, we've seen some fantastic speedway here, and we've got the semi-finals and finals to come, and it does mean that Ty Woffenden, by my calculations, Kelvin, is now 10 points clear of Nicky Pedersen in the World Championship standings, and it also means he is guaranteed to be the leader going into round 5 in Latvia in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, great stuff from Ty. You know, that last ride was one that will live long in the memory. It was an outstanding effort. Just had a little bit more speed than everybody, and to get the better of Hancock late in the race when he's come from behind and a long way behind was a great effort. Some super speedway and real tough speedway as well. That's to be expected, but everybody is being royally entertained, and they've got a British rider that's leading the World Championship and has won 4 consecutive heats here. That really has delighted them.
Really enjoying this tonight, and 3 heats to go. We now know the top 8 confirmed, so let's bring it to you here. And it does mean that 8 points has been enough, and that victory for Michael Jepsen Jensen has seen him through.
Yeah,
so it's Holder, Woffenden, Hancock, Zagar, Killerman, Everson, Pedersen, Jepsen Jensen. There's what, 4 Danish riders there?
Well, they all go through, which is a good effort from them. And I've got to say that they've battled awfully hard for that. Zagar's been good tonight. Cook has got close there, hasn't he? Just one more point. Doyle will rue that mistake he made when he got excluded, because he could well have made it. Disappointment for Harris and Kasperzak, and there's no question that the big shot for me is Janowski. Just the 3 points from his 5 outings, that's a surprise for me.
Certainly is. So 2 semi-finals and a final to come. We will have the pick for gate positions very shortly. But, well, that ride from Woofenden in Heat 19, Kelvin, we remember the Tony Ricardson wall of death here and Harris's pass in 2007 to win, but that ride from Woofenden, last to first, has to go down as right up there here in the Millennium Stadium.
It's right in there, obviously. You know, if it was in the final, it would definitely rival those ones of Ricardson. If he does something similar in the final tonight, it'll probably go down as the best one I've ever witnessed. But in a heat race, you've got to say it was a quality ride, top quality ride. Sometimes when you produce that in a final, then it is extra special. But Woofenden really is quite a remarkable man, isn't he? You know, a lot of riders would have started panicking. The pressure leading up to this meeting has been intense. He's done an awful lot of media work leading up to this evening's event. But he's carried all before him, hasn't he? He really has made light of that. Seems to have embraced it almost, and incredible his riding, so relaxed. And I think the number one thing for me is that Woofenden just seems to be intent on enjoying it. And when you're enjoying something, you generally are quite good at it.
Very much so, yeah. And 2 semi-finals to come here. And we're just awaiting the riders to come up now and select their... Well, this is going to be pretty conclusive, isn't it?
14 wins.
Wow.
Well, that's almost a bit too much, isn't it? Because it's such an advantage. And you just see Gate 4 has just been a nightmare. It's been a graveyard. Chris Holder, of course, has had it a couple of times. And, of course, there's no surprise that he goes for the inside gate in the first semi-final. Matty Zagar's ridden nicely. Interesting to see what he does. Gate 2 for Zagar.
Well, there's a surprise.
There's a very surprise. Everson,
3.
Sure, Gate 3 for him. And that will leave Nicky Pedersen with Gate 4. And as I say, this evening, the way it's working out, you're going to need a bit of good fortune to come from there.
Just a bit.
Yeah, a right smile from him. Ty Woofenden, of course, I fully expect him, Nige, to go from the inside gate. Here he comes. Yep, straight to the inside gate. Good stuff for him. He's already had it a couple of times. Hancock, I'm sure. This will be fairly straightforward, I'm sure. Gate 2 for him. Yep.
And
Hancock.
probably Gate 3 for Kilderman.
Yeah, Gate 3 for Peter Kilderman. He's having a think about it. He's having a think. Not quite
First
sure.
meeting of the year and straight into the semi-final.
Yeah, maybe
not bad.
Oh, he's very tempted to go for 4.
Oh, hello.
He's gone for 4.
That's just ruined my programme.
Yeah, I think primarily because he's probably thinking, well, the outside is a disadvantage, but Gate 4, I might just have the opportunity to sneak back up the inside, coming off the corner and get myself, in the very worst, into second place. So, Holder, Zagar, Everson and Pedersen, semi-final number 1. Good-looking lineup, isn't it? Holder looking great, and then Ty Woofenden, Hancock, Jepsen Jensen and Peter Kilderman in semi-final number 2. Pretty decent quality there.
Yeah, quite a lineup indeed. As we build up then to the first semi-final. And very much looking forward to it. And the battle for the World Championship, well, how will it stand going into Latvia? We know that Woofenden is guaranteed to be the World Championship leader, but he will be looking to build on this. We'll be looking to build on it. Here's the standings again. Woofenden 52, Pedersen 42, Hancock 38, Zagar 34. Of course, Jari Campbell slipping tonight. He's got that broken leg.
31 points for
Wish
him.
him all the best.
I'm not so sure that Woofenden were worrying initially now about the World Championship standings. I think he'll want to win here.
Yes.
You know, he hasn't won the British Grand Prix yet. He's been world champion, and I'm sure he really is very keen to do it. Of course, only one British rider has done that, and that is Chris Harris back in 2007. So I just sense that this will be something that Ty Woofenden wants on his resume. He wants this on his CV, doesn't he? A British Grand Prix win.
Yep, he certainly does. Just awaiting the 2-minute clock for the first semi-final here.
Been a pretty good night, isn't it?
Not bad. I'm just delighted that the track has been so good.
Yeah, it just shows you how good it can be when they get the temporary tracks right.
Has it been too good in the early stages of a meeting?
Oh, yeah, but you can always, you know, pick holes.
Super critical.
Yeah, absolutely. But by and large, we've seen some good speedway, and it's been
been of a high calibre, and it's allowed riders to ride with confidence.
Certainly has. So Nicky Pedersen, if anybody can come off gate 4 and get into the top 2 here, he can. It's all about finishing first or second and getting into that grand final here in Cardiff.
Yeah, I think he's changed his bike. It looks like a fresh one to me. Just taking a chance. He's got nothing to lose going from the outside. Holder then just sending a message to his son, saying that he loves him. Here we go.
Not quite sure what the wait is all about now. There's no track work going on, so I'm not sure what we're waiting for here now.
Looks like we're ready to go. Holder now preparing himself. Had a good night. 13 points. Leads the way on the score so far this evening. Nicky there, just getting himself ready. Only 2 riders up there, actually. So 2 riders now emerging on. We're waiting for 2 more to come out from the pit area. Fresh track, of course, now. Extensive grading. Semi-finals about to come on.
Yeah, looking forward to this. It's going to be hard work for Nicky going off the outside gate in yellow. It's not produced a race winner all night, although it has to be said, you know, we have seen Chris Harris getting second place in heat 20 from gate 4. Thomas H. Jonasson was getting, and Craig Cook in heat 17 got second place, and second place is all you need to get through to the semi-finals, the final now. We're at the semi-final stage here in Cardiff.
It's the big one, Nige.
Yes,
that's the one
indeed.
at the end of the night. The one that
last heat decider,
that's
I do
the
believe.
one that counts, mate. No, he can do it. He'll need a bit of good fortune. If he can't quite make something very special away from the tapes, he's going to have to chop to the inside and then get a break in the traffic so he can get into second place. He's changed his equipment. He's giving another bike a go here. So Pedersen rolling the dice. Zagar out of gate 2. Everson's been pushing hard all night. But Holder, I've got to say, this is the best performance for some time from him. He won't want to let this slip now, Nigel. He'll want to make the final, that's for sure.
Certainly will. Here we go, heat number 21. The first semi-final here of the Adrian Flux British FIM Speedway Grand Prix in Cardiff. Here we go with the first semi-final then. Chris Holder off that inside gate in red. Has won here before. Mate Zagar goes off gate number 2 in blue. It's Niels Christian Everson, gate 3 in white. And Nicky Pedersen, can he get there from the outside gate in yellow? Here we go with semi-final number 1.
Yeah, super line-up. Pedersen's going to need a bit of good fortune in that first corner, I suggest. Holder's in the box seat. 14 heat wins out of the inside gate. It's almost unfair when you go on there for the opposition. Zagar's ridden nicely, he's out of gate 2. Settling down, here we go.
First semi-final it is, and Holder's made a beauty. Pedersen's looking good here from the outside gate. Zagar holds second, but Pedersen has got the drive down the back straight, and now Nicky Pedersen is going to really push on. He's going to close the door on Mate Zagar. Now Zagar up the inside. Holder's got the race in the back, you feel, but Nicky Pedersen made a superb start from the outside there.
Yeah, fantastic effort from Pedersen, that. Oh, he clouts the fence down the back straight. Holder's beginning to pull away. There's good action there for 3rd and 4th with Everson now coming through. Nicky Pedersen, if he gets through to the final, this will be quite a remarkable effort. Has had a hard night. Everson's coming on hard in 3rd place. Everson coming on! Everson's done him!
Whoa!
Brilliant ride from Niels Christian Everson.
Oh, and Pedersen's going to the back. Oh, unbelievable. Chris Holder with the lead. Niels Christian Everson with a sensational pass on Pedersen. And Holder and Everson are through to the final in Cardiff. What a race. Semi-final number 1. Niels Christian Everson was well out of contention and has charged through and passed Pedersen for second.
Well, what a ride from Everson. Didn't see that coming. Pedersen initially very strong from the outside into second place, but Everson must have made a few tweaks to the bike, you know, because he had a lot of speed. Took Pedersen by surprise, charged up the inside and got the better of him. Holder delighted once again, winning from the inside. Great out in front, but Niels Christian Everson, he was a superstar there.
Well, he brushed Zagar to one side, then he picked up the challenge on Pedersen.
Tough
it was a
speedway.
great ride from Niels Christian Everson, wasn't it?
Too right.
Holder, Everson, they go through. Pedersen's night is over. Nicky has finished tonight on 9 points from 6 rides. And heat number 22, semi-final number 2, is coming up.
Chris Holder moving on to 16 points. What a night he's having. Holder back to his best here this evening. Clean pair of heels, the bike really good to the first corner. Tell you what, Nicky Pedersen really does a good job from the outside. Zagar initially there, he takes care of him. The bike works really nicely in the first part of the race. Everson is nowhere. He's just out the back. I just couldn't see him getting through the traffic at this early stage in the race. Holder comfortable, kicking off the fence. Both the first two riders, in actual fact, kicking off the fence. But then Everson seems to settle down and he realises he's got plenty of speed and slips up the inside. Gives Nicky Pedersen a real good clout on the way through as well. But fair play to Niels Christian Everson. This is an outstanding ride from him. Really hard speedway. Danish teammates, of course, but no love lost there, was there? Everson was coming through. And I've got to say, at the end of the race, Everson wasn't very far away from Holder, but Holder and Everson through. Good speedway.
Well, it was tough. It was hard. But a place in the final in Cardiff on the line, and well done, Chris Holder.
Look at that.
What a performance.
4 wins on the spin.
Yep.
Gate 1, 3 times on the spin has worked a treat for him.
He's going to take some stopping in the final, Chris Holder. He's done it here before. Can he do it again? Here we go with semi-final number 2 now. We have Peter Killerman off the inside, and we have the World Championship leader, Ty Woofenden, who leads the championship by 9 points now. But his main rival, Nicky Pedersen, is out and won't ride in the final. If Woofenden can make it count off the inside gate, well, his lead will be extended going to Daugavpils in a couple of weeks' time. Woofenden from Hancock, from Jepsen Jensen, from Killerman. It's quite a lineup for semi-final number 2.
Indeed it is, and Woofenden's in the box seat, of course, on the inside. Hancock will put pressure on. He's a jet-propelled starter, and he coming out of gate 2. Kilderman, there'll be a few fireworks there.
Second semi-final, and Woofenden's made a good start. He's got there, superb, and he's clear already. Now what can Hancock do? Hancock trying to come around the outside of Jepsen Jensen, but look at Woofenden go. He is dominant here, and now there's a real battle as Kilderman comes round the outside, charging hard after Hancock! Peter Kilderman! First Grand Prix of the year, and he's heading through to the final!
Yeah, good ride from Peter Kilderman. No surprise to see Woofenden out in front. It'll be a major shock if he gets beaten from there. Super ride for Kilderman to get the better of the world champion. Disappointment for Hancock. Just not quite enough speed when he needed it. Kilderman's coming on strong, right in the middle of the track. Working the track, beginning to eke into the lead from Woofenden. I don't expect Woofenden to get beaten from there, but Woofenden and Kilderman going to go through to the final.
Listen to the British fans, they are jubilant. Their man is in the final. Ty Woofenden heads through to the final in Cardiff. 15 points for Woofenden. Leads the World Championship by 12 points now. What a performance from Ty Woofenden. But forget the World Championship. Forget the 12 points he scored tonight. He wants to win in Cardiff. And now Greg Hancock in blue is going to all 4 corners of the Millennium Stadium and waving to his fans. He knows his night is over. But Woofenden, wow.
Well, his night is not over, is it? 15 points to his name, Woofenden. And in what style? It was a fairly routine win there for Woofenden from the gate. Hancock just saying, is that a bit of a farewell? Is that a bit of a goodbye?
Well,
you just wonder, don't you? But
Hancock waving farewell to the crowd for now, hopefully. Hopefully he'll be back next year. Woofenden 15 points, Holder leads on 16. The final is to come.
Well, Ty Woofenden outstanding once again. Showed a clean pair of heels to the opposition. And this is why he's got the favoured inside gate and it works a treat for him. Brilliant riding from him. Hancock initially into second place, but Peter Kilderman rides really nicely here. He commits to the outside and generates a lot of speed. And he's able to get the better of the world champion, Hancock. And unfortunately for the American, he won't make the final on the 4th of July, which is a shame for the American. But Peter Kilderman coming in to replace Jarek Hempel makes the final, and he's made a final before. Jepsen Jensen a little bit out of shape. Kilderman isn't. He's got a lot of speed around the outside, and he will be a threat in the final. But
this man. If somebody beats this man tonight in the final, I tell you what, they would have done very well indeed, because Woofenden just looks electric out there now.
Chris Holder will fancy it though, Kelv.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Woofenden's got a little bit more speed than Chris, you know. I just sense that Woofenden might just be able to pass him.
Wow. Well. Will he go? Where's he going to go? 16 race wins now.
He'd be mad to not go off the inside. And, you know, it's an unfair advantage tonight. I don't like that, in actual fact. I think it's a little lopsided, you know, and Janowski having 2 gate 4s in his draw. There's no question that went against him.
Yeah, it's the one negative side, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, it's the inside 2 gates that are the key, isn't it? That's
well,
what it's all
Holder's
about.
had it 3 times on the spin and got 3 race wins out of it.
Very much so. So the final is coming up. This is round number 4. We have 8 rounds to come, remember. It all ends in Melbourne at the Etihad Stadium in October. But will we have a world champion before then?
Well, there's possibility, because Woofenden's riding so well. If he stays injury-free, he could wrap it up with a round to go, that's for sure. But a long way to go, of course, and a lot of speedway to be done. Interesting to see what happens here, but be very surprised if gate 1 isn't taken immediately.
Yep, very much so. Looking forward to the final then. And we await the pick for gate positions here in the Millennium Stadium. 1 race to go. Really has livened up. Here we go.
Here we see Holder there, just waiting patiently. All 4 riders up in double quick time.
He's first
Holder
up.
comes up. This will be the 4th time on a row that he has gate 1, which is quite remarkable. Hasn't dropped a point from the inside gate. Woofenden, gate 2. Kilderman may well go for gate 4 again.
Oh, it worked for him last time, didn't it?
Although did indeed, yeah,
not
no
necessarily from the
surprise.
start, yeah.
Has fond memories of that, gives him that chance. And Everson, who was outstanding in his semi-final, got to say Everson really did ride brilliantly to get into 2nd place to make his place in the final. So here we go, final
really
race
looking
of the
forward
night.
to this.
I am, and this is a tasty encounter, isn't it? Holder, Woofenden, Everson and Kilderman. Holder will have the opportunity to make the start, no question, but whether Woofenden can hunt him down, I just sense he will.
Yeah, brilliant. Just awaiting then the riders to emerge. There's going to be some nerves jangling for sure. Because as I say, even though Woofenden's got a handy lead in the World Championship, Kelvin, he won't be thinking about that right now.
No. He wants to win here. He wants that on his CV. It's a huge event. It's in his home country, and as I say, only 1 British rider's done it, and that was Harris in 07. So 2015, it's looking good for Woofenden, but he will have to do the hard yards away from the tapes, because gate 2 has not been as good as gate 1.
Peter Killerman, it's only his 5th Grand Prix of his career, and it's his 3rd final.
Yeah, he's a good rider. He was unlucky not to get a permanent pick, in actual fact, but he's ridden nicely to get into the final.
Let's hear from Greg Hancock now with Steve Brandon.
Greg Hancock, close but no cigar tonight for you.
Yeah, you can say that again. It's, you know, felt like everything was moving right along there. We might make it right through, but it is what it is, man. I gave it my all, and this wasn't quite enough tonight.
You've ridden in every Cardiff, at every Cardiff track. This must be one of the best.
Yeah, without a doubt. The track was the best. You've seen the best racing, the most consistency, and all that kind of stuff. So I think this is a win-win for everybody.
And you had a little private moment waving to all the fans, all 4 corners of the stadium. They can hear you out there. Special message for the people here in Cardiff tonight.
Thank you, British Speedway. Thank you, Cardiff. Thank you, Bowie.
There you go, see, and special man, thank you. But tonight, we talk about the championship evolving. This is only a 3rd done now. 4 rounds gone, 8 to go, 12 points tonight. That's a good return.
Yeah, it's a good return. You know, I want to go away with a win like everybody, but points is what it's going to take to win the championship. And as you said, there's a long way to go, but I can't afford to sit around either.
And just between you and me, there's not many people listening. Who's your money on the final?
Oh man, Monster.
That'll be one of the 2 boys in blue and red. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Well done.
You got it. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you guys again soon.
Well, there's Jenny Hancock, Greg's wife, in the crowd. His son Wilbur, enjoying the occasion. It's great to see. He is the Mr. Nice Guy, isn't he, Greg? He's so popular here.
Yeah, he has a soft spot for the British Speedway, that's for sure. Of course, he cut his teeth here
really did build his reputation riding for Cradley Heath. You will know that, of course, well, Nigel. You would have seen him ride on many occasions there.
Yes. Yeah, I had a bit of a joke with Greg yesterday with his son. I knew your dad when he first came over and he was rubbish. Told the Cradley management to send him back home to America.
Yeah,
he was
very
useless.
true. That's quite remarkable now, isn't it? Here we see the final. Woofenden just preparing himself. Has been very relaxed. He seems to have been enjoying every moment of his Grand Prix experience here this evening. One crucial lap, 4 laps to come up. Can he do it? You know, the way he rode in that Heat 19, where he came from nowhere to get the better of the opposition to win, was extraordinary. But he's coming up against 3 other fellas that are having a decent night as well, so it's a little bit more difficult to pass people in the final. So Holder has had a great night off the inside. The pressure will be on. Holder will still need to drop the clutch at the right time, because you know that man will be hunting him down, that's for sure.
Now, is Woofenden relaxed? He's pulling a wheelie down the back straight.
I would suggest the body language would confirm the fact that he's just still having fun.
Well, Holder knows what it's like to win here in Cardiff, and Chris Holder has been into 15 Grand Prix finals. This is his 55th GP of his career. Niels Christian Iversen has been into 7 finals before tonight. This is his 51st Grand Prix. But Kilderman, 5 Grand Prix, 3 finals for Kilderman.
That is a great percentage, and you've got to say that, as I say, he was unfortunate not to get a permanent pick for this year's series, and immediately he's coming in. He makes the final here in Cardiff, so a great effort there from the Danish rider, but a fabulous lineup. Can't wait for the final.
Here we go, it's the final of the British Grand Prix in Cardiff. It's Chris Holder going off the inside, as won here before. Tai Woofenden knows he will lead the World Championship going to Latvia in a couple of weeks' time, but he wants to win the British GP. Niels Christian Iversen, who worked so hard to get to the final, off gate 3 in white. And Peter Killerman, only the 5th Grand Prix of his career, and the 3rd final in 5 Grand Prix. Peter Killerman is the man with the Midas touch. Here we go, it's the grand final. Is it all about the inside 2 gates, or will they be somebody to spoil the party from the 2 Danes off the outside?
Well, yes, it's sudden death time, so anything's possible. It will be quite a tough first corner, we know that. Kilderman worked it beautifully to get in the 2nd place for his semi-final. Iversen was very quick in his. Holder's in the box seat, no question about that, but pressure comes with that, because Woofenden is so very fast. What a lineup!
Here we go with the grand final in Cardiff. Green lights on, and they're away. Who's going to get into that first turn? Woofenden is going to try the inside switch. Holder's there. Lovely move from Holder, and Woofenden's going to go to the back. Iversen!
What a
Niels
move.
Christian Iversen has got the lead. Can you believe it? Here comes Woofenden now trying to get through to 3rd. What a move by Niels Christian Iversen of Denmark.
Brilliant stuff from Iversen, swept round the outside and has cleared off out in front. Woofenden's out the back. That really is quite a shot. Can't land a blow. Holder in 2nd place with Kilderman in 3rd, but Niels Christian Iversen, a remarkable ride in his semi-final, and here out in front, he's going to pick up the spoils.
Well, this is really a fantastic performance from Iversen. It's not been consistent throughout the night, but he's done enough. And Niels Christian Iversen is on the verge of a 4th Grand Prix win of his career. Here he comes, Niels Christian Iversen. What a performance!
What a performance indeed. A shock winner, I would suggest. The favourites were on gates 1 and 2, no guessing about that. Woofenden didn't get away to his liking and got buried out the back. Couldn't land a blow, but down the back straight on the opening lap, Niels Christian Iversen, who's come back from a really nasty injury last year. What a ride from him. He had fantastic speed in his semi-final to get the better of Nicky Pedersen to get himself into the final. But out of gate 3, the Danish man comes up with a stunning ride, and many congratulations to Iversen.
Full credit to Niels Christian Iversen. That is a sensational result.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw that coming, but he timed his move to absolute perfection. It was brilliant the way he did that.
Nigel, the speed he had in the 2nd semi-final, he must have been feeling confident, and a door opened up as he went down the back straight.
he was able to fire himself to the front. What a night of Speedway. Speedway's been a winner tonight. No doubt about that. Cardiff really has put on a show for everybody. Super Speedway. It's a disappointment for British fans, of course, and for Woofenden that he hasn't won on the night, but the World Championship lead is solid, looking good. There's no question about it. Niels Christian Iversen will be overjoyed with that result.
But Niels Christian Iversen, it's a poignant moment. Early on in his professional career, he rode down the road from here for the Newport Wasps in the Premier League.
Indeed he did.
So he's ridden many times in Wales, rode for the Newport Wasps, and a former Newport rider wins in Cardiff. How about that?
Yeah, that's a great moment and a great link. And as I say, Iversen's been frustrated at times this year, but I'll tell you what, he's not frustrated now, is he? That is one big result for the Danish boy.
Yeah, and let's just confirm the finishing order tonight. Iversen wins the Grand Prix, finishes on 14 points, but he's the winner of the final and wins the GP. Holder top scores on 18, Woofenden on 15, and that's significant for Woofenden, even though he couldn't score there in the final. Bottom line is, he is now, on 55 points, and he's 12 clear of Nicky Pedersen. He's got a 12-point cushion in the World Championship, and he'll settle for that.
Here we see it again. They're away into the first corner. Initially, it's all about Holder, but look, Iversen lets that bike run right out towards the fence and has a lot of speed, and he's able to get the better of the opposition, and he gets the better of Holder as they go into turn 3 on the opening lap. Woofenden there trapped on the inside and gets relegated to the back, and he can't land a blow, but the man out in front, he must have been in 7th heaven there. It just worked out beautifully for him. And as he comes out of the last corner, he probably can't quite believe that he's about to win the biggest speedway meeting in the world. What a ride from him. Disappointment for Woofenden, but on reflection, I'm sure he'll be pleased with his championship lead.
Let's head down to Steve Brandon.
Niels Christian Iversen, wow, what a great result.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I must admit, I didn't expect to make such a half decent gate like I did, but I knew I had to go to the outside because the bike was working good. I knew I was fast enough, so I just went for it.
And semi-final sort of summed up your night. You had to work hard for every point, but you dug in and you got the results you needed.
Yeah, we tried, we changed things every race, and track changed a bit as well, and it was really hard work. And yeah, we knew we need to be a little bit quicker when we came to the middle of the meeting, and in the semi-final I was really quick, and I knew if I could make a pretty good gate, then I was in for sure.
14 points on the night, 35 in total, 4th in the championship. That's a great result.
Yeah, it's good, but it's still early days. We have such a long way to go, but it just shows how quickly things can change. And I came here to win it and at least get to the podium. So I achieved that, and I'm just over the moon.
Looking around this place tonight, hearing the noise, not a bad place to win your 4th Grand Prix.
No, it's awesome. It's fantastic here. I won in few other temporary tracks, but this one is sort of the biggest one on the calendar, and it's great to win.
I mean, I wear noise-cancelling headset all night, and it's loud in here. Can you riders hear the fans? Can you hear them react when passes go well?
Yeah, you can feel the atmosphere in here, and when you come in here, then your focus is in a different place, but you can definitely feel it.
I can see you're very happy, man. Congratulations. We'll see you in a fortnight in Latvia. Congratulations again.
Thanks. Can I just say a big thanks to my sponsors on the team, and also to Laura, which is my partner, and everybody who's doing a great job to get me around.
Thanks, Niels.
Yeah, well done, Niels Christian Iversen. Rides for the Kings Lynn Stars in the UK. And let's remind you then of the World Championship standings now. There's 4 rounds gone, 8 to go. That was after round 3. This is how it looks now. Woofenden on 55, Pedersen 43, Hancock 39. Iversen moves on to 35 with Zagar 34, and Chris Holder has had a major boost tonight, rocketing into the top 6 on 31 points. That was important for Chris Holder as well. Here's the moment that Niels Christian Iversen thoroughly deserves as he makes his way towards the podium. Winner of the Adrian Flux FIM British Speedway Grand Prix, Niels Christian Iversen, the Danish star with a wonderful ride. And you could argue he deserved that for the way he got through in the semi-final as well.
Yeah, it was a great ride in the semi-final, and clearly had a lot of speed. He trusted that again in the final. He kicked off the first corner and he took Holder by surprise. Brilliant stuff.
Many congratulations, Niels Christian Iversen.
Yeah.
Chris Holder, who will have fancied his chances, will be disappointed not quite to win the Grand Prix. And Peter Killerman in third place there, but has to be said that Iversen really dug deep and did it when it really mattered there.
Absolutely, and Peter Kilderman, of course, 2 Danish riders on the rostrum. He's done himself a whole world of good. He was on his backside a couple of times this evening, but that didn't slow him down any. He rode nicely and fully deserves to get himself into third place, and he'll be delighted with that, with his first Grand Prix of the year. Chris Holder, of course, that's a return to form for him. Tops the score charts, doesn't win on the night, but a whole hatful of points and is now ensconced in the top 8, and he's moving in the right direction. So a really good night's work for Chris Holder. He'll be pleased with that. But Niels Christian Iversen, you've got to say that you couldn't see him winning earlier on tonight. He was battling away, but that's often the case with Iversen. He's a real hard worker and a real battler. But come the final, he came up with a ride that was out of the top draw. And I'll tell you what, you can't deny him. It was a special ride and a special moment for him now.
Well, huge congratulations to him. Absolutely delighted for Niels.
Super guy, you know.
Very much so. Well deserved.
Yeah, he had a nasty injury last year and has recovered well. He's worked hard to get his fitness. And we're going to have some champagne moments now, and this will be fully deserved. Wuffenden will be disappointed not to be on the rostrum, of course. He rode so well, and it was a bit of a shock for Tai Wuffenden not to make the Wuffenden, not to win. I fancied him to win the final, but it just didn't work out. Iversen wins nicely, and Chris Holder, I'm chuffed for him as well, because he's had a really difficult time. And as I say, he's ridden very nicely this evening to get a whole hatful of points.
Yeah, very much so. Sweet moments for these boys.
We move on to Daugavpils, which is a very different challenge indeed. Big, wide, open spaces, proper European track. And interesting to see who comes out on top there. But for Tai Wuffenden, I believe it's a 12-point lead. Is that correct, Nigel? 12-point lead in the World Championship. Well, he came in with a 6-point lead, so he's doubled his lead in the championship. So still a very good night's work for Wuffenden, moving sweetly on.
Yep, tremendous night, absolutely right. And good, I think, that there's universal praise for the track.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's enjoyed themselves here tonight.
Well, I was lucky enough to ride it on Thursday, and I just felt then it was in tip-top condition. A joy to ride, and you just see the confidence of riders and how close they were able to ride to one another. I'm sure they've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, very much so. And we look forward to Daugavpils in a couple of weeks' time, because the track there is fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, terrific racetrack, and we've seen some good stuff there. And I'm sure we'll see a Super Grand Prix once again. And as I say, with 3 Grand Prix this month after a 6-week wait for this one. So plenty of World Championship Speedway coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep, very much so. We have Daugavpils in a fortnight, and then it's back-to-back, because the weekend after it's Manila in Sweden as well. Hectic time. And we say congratulations to Niels Christian Iversen, but Tai Wuffenden will be happy. Kelvin, your closing thoughts?
Absolutely, I think he will be. Slightly disappointed not to win on the night, but a 12-point lead in the World Championship. A good job done.
Enjoyed your company, Kelvin, and we'll see you in Latvia in a couple of weeks. 2015 Adrian Flux FIM British Speedway Grand Prix at the Millennium Stadium, Cardiff. All the big boys in town. Could Tai Wuffenden extend his lead in the World Championship standings and win in Cardiff for the first ever time? The bad boy, Nicky Pedersen, the man they love to hate now after his coming together with Greg Hancock a couple of weeks earlier. The Boo Boys were out, but Nicky was up to the challenge and playing to the gallery as well. Plenty of good speedway on what has been universally accepted as the best ever Cardiff track in the 15 years that this meeting has been staged. 1 or 2 moments of drama, Peter Killerman going down, and that needed a restart, and Killerman charged through into the semi-finals. Greg Hancock still hugely popular in the UK, scoring some good points and really competitive. Chris Holder, though, had a succession of rides from the inside gate red. Wuffenden was in there as well, and Holder and Wuffenden, using the inside gates, rattled off a succession of race wins to breeze through into the semi-finals. Nicky Pedersen then disqualified for bringing off his fellow countryman Peter Killerman, and sarcastic laughter from Mickey in the pits because of that decision. Hancock and Everson and Zagar all going for it, and it shaped up nicely for the semi-finals as Woofenden marched on. Drama with Troy Batchelor, who hit the fence in his final race and couldn't take any further part. It brought through the reserves, Garrity and Lambert, the youngsters, but Holder and Woofenden continued to dominate. And then there was drama in the semi-final with a terrific ride as Ty Woofenden managed to get through with a wonderful ride in Heat 19 as he went from last to first in one of the most dramatic Millennium Stadium races ever. Woofenden continued in fantastic form, but all about the final, and it was Niels Christian Everson with this sweet move. But it's Ty Woofenden who goes to Latvia for the next round, leading the World Championship.